Hello, good evening. Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Chale. Let's start with our MCQ marathon. See, we have completed all of our course, right? We have done all the modules that there are in BRBL. If at any point you have gone through the PDFs, I hope you have gone through the PDFs. If there is any topic specifically you want to ask me, please write that in the chat section. I'll explain that. So how are we going to proceed today is that I'll give you a brief. I'll give you a gist. Okay. Good evening, Archana ji. So I'll be giving you a gist. Okay, how what is given in this particular unit, and do you have to focus on this specific area? Which area you have to focus on in specific unit? Okay, so that is the only part, the brief that I can give you here because we just have limited time today, and tomorrow is your exam. Now we'll be doing a lot of MCQs. The most probable areas from which the questions are going to come are in this marathon today. What we are going to do is we'll be studying reading the question and answering the same. Every question will, let's take 1 minute for every question. Okay, 1 minute for every question. I'll be just explaining why the statement is wrong, not the correct one. I'll not be read the question, I'll not read the every assertions that there are. I'll just mark what is wrong and we'll move forward because we have approximately 150 questions there. Okay, and I have to explain you things as well. Chale. If at any point again you have doubt, you want me to explain any specific area, any specific point, please make sure that you mention that in the chat section. Let's start with our class. We are doing BRBL all modules marathon session. I'm Advocate Devshree. Let's start. First that we have is Unit 1, Legal Framework of Regulations of Bank. Here there are two specific acts we are talking about, the RBI Act and the BR Act. I have provided to you with a PPT in which all the important sections are there. Make sure that you go through those sections. Those sections are super important because BR Act and RBI Act are just about sections. There are a few sections that you have to remember, like license section, what are the things that a bank can do, what are the things that a bank cannot do, how much property can a bank own, what is the CRR, what are the SLR, what are the provisions for reserves, etc, etc. These are in the first 3 units. Basically BR Act and RBI Act is in the first unit. Three first units of 1, 2 and 3 is again and again talking about somehow somewhere about BR and RBI Act. Sections are important. Going through those sections are super important. Make sure you go through them before sleeping today. Okay, let's attempt question number 1. Which of the following statements reflected the dual regulatory structure applicable to cooperative banks? See, what used to happen was that this BR Act wasn't applicable on cooperative banks, but an amendment came and BR Act got made applicable to cooperative banks as well. What will be the answer here? State cooperative banks are exclusively registered to the cooperative society. It is saying exclusively registered to the cooperative society. This statement is wrong. Okay. While state registrar controls the formation and management, RBI is the one who regulates the functioning. Okay. RBI is the one who regulates the functioning. They are exclusively regulated by the registrar of cooperative. No, they are not. Statement number 1 is incorrect. Statement number 2 is correct. Statement number 3 is also correct, but statement number 4 is incorrect. Why? See, RBI has no role in licensing. Without RBI's permission, you cannot enter into the money market. You cannot be a cooperative bank, public bank, private bank, NBFC, any financial institution without RBI's license cannot work in India. So statement number 4 is incorrect. Statement number 4 is incorrect. That will give us 2, 3 and 5 as correct. B is the correct answer. Next question. Identify the correct statement in relation to RBI regulator powers and institutional structure under the RBI Act with recent amendments. Please read the question. It is not 1 year. The debarment can be for up to 3 years. Statement number 3 is incorrect. Everything except statement number 3 is correct. That will give us, no, statement number 2 is also, give me a second. Statement number 2 is also incorrect. Section 22 of the RBI Act deals with the RBI's power to regulate NBFC. No, Section 22 talks about bank note currency issuance. Now, see, you can see from here itself that a section-based question came. Section-based statement came. So, statement number 2 is also incorrect. That will give us 1, 4, and 5 as correct. B is the correct answer. Next, we have Unit 2. Again, BR Act and RBI Act. What are the controls over BR Act and RBI Act? See, license provision and Section 6 to 9 of BR Act is very important. Please make sure that you know that. Section 35, 35A, 45, 45A, AA, AB, MAA. These are very important. Next, question number 3. Which of the following conditions must satisfy before RBI grants the banking license? The company should have at least one branch office outside India. It is saying that if you want to become a money regulator in India, you should have an office outside India. There is no such requirement like that. RBI will never ask you कि पहले you go outside, make an office outside and then come to India. There is no such requirement. Statement number 1 is incorrect. Other statements are correct. That will give us D as the correct answer. D is the correct answer. Next question. XYZ banking company, an Indian banking company, is proposing to expand its operation. It currently operates only in one state, where its principal place of business is in Nagpur and has 4 other branches, 2 in the same district and 2 in the different district of the same state. They are in one state only. Okay? The bank was established in 2010. Recently, the bank has proposed to expand to Mumbai and Kolkata. Nagpur is a non-metro city, right? Non-metro city. If you want to expand to a metro city like Mumbai or Kolkata, there are different provisions related to the this minimum capital, right? For non-metro, it is 5 lakhs, but for metro, it is 10 lakhs. Reviewing its compliance under Section 11 of the BR Act, what are correct? What are correct? Statement number 1 is correct, right? There is no branch. They are planning to expand, right? Statement number 1 is correct. Statement number 2 is correct. Statement number 3 is correct, but statement number 4 is not correct. Since the bank was incorporated in 1962 amendment, it is exempted from 5 lakh minimum CAIIB capital. No, it is not. For non-metro area, the CAIIB capital should be at least 5 lakhs, and for metro should be at least 10 lakhs. Statement number 1, 2, 3 are correct, 4 is incorrect, 5th is also incorrect. The Nagpur branch and one district branch are within 25 miles of each other. They may be deemed to be in the same district for same computation. No, they may not be. The 25-mile rules apply between states, not districts. Between states. This rule is for states, not district. See, I'm expecting some replies from you. Okay? It is not my paper. Again, it is your paper. You have to keep on replying to the questions. Statement number 3 and 4 are incorrect. A is the correct answer. Next question. This MCQ is going to help you that you'll assess how much are you prepared for your tomorrow's exam. You still have a few hours with you for you to prepare, continue preparing. So you have to answer here. You'll know where you have to focus on. Question number 5, a good question. A private sector bank, Sunrise Private Bank Limited, recently appointed its new board of directors. However, the RBI conducted a review and observed the following facts. Out of 10 directors, only 4 possess expertise in law, banking and accountancy, while 3 other being businessmen holding a beneficial interest of 7 lakhs in the trading company. Now, next. Two directors had previously served on the board for continuous past 10 years. The one newly appointed director had earlier been removed from the position of full-time director in the same bank just 2 years ago. The bank argued that even if the board was not fully appointed, its decision remains valid. RBI directed the bank to reconstitute the board. However, the board took no action within 60 days. If you are not listening to RBI, your license can be suspended, even cancelled. Which of the following statements are correct? The appointment of the director with beneficial interest of 7 lakh in the trading company disqualifies them. Does it disqualify them? Yes, it does. Why? Because the directors who are in a bank, they cannot have trading interest, because trading activities are not allowed to people at directorial or managerial level, to people who are working in banks. So, and if they can have this interest, but the majority cannot be with them. The majority could not be the traders. Okay, so statement number 1 is incorrect. Statement number 1 is incorrect. Statement number 1 is correct. Sorry, it disqualifies them. Yes, it does. The continuous service of 2 directors for 10 years is valid and there is no limit bound. See, you cannot work as a director of a banking company for a continuous of 2 terms, and 1 term is for only 4 years. So you can work as a director of a company for 8 years only. Thus, this limit is incorrect. This is breach of rule. Statement number 2 is incorrect. Statement number 3 is correct. Statement number 4 is also incorrect. Why? The bank claims about board's decision being valid despite composition defect. No, it is not. You are not following what the composition qualification requirements are. Randomly, I cannot hire people and let them take decisions. Now, they are not competent enough. So statement number 4 is also incorrect. Statement number 5 is correct. That will give us D as the correct answer. D is the correct answer. Yes, very good. Next, we have unit 3. Which of the following statements regarding the Reserve Bank of India power to issue directions under BR Act are correct? What all are correct? Very good, Nagaji. Statement number 1 is correct, right? The directions under 21 and 35A are binding. Yes, they are. Statement number 2 is correct. Statement number 3 is not correct. Why? The RBI can issue directions to both banks and their customers. The rules of RBI applies to only its bank, not for customers. Not for customers. Statement number 3 is incorrect. Statement number 4 and 5 are also correct. That will give us D as the correct answer. D is the correct answer. Next question. Next question. Statement number 1 is correct. Statement number 2 is not correct. Discrimination among different classes of borrowers or depositor is legally acceptable if it results in operational convenience. You are given an example here that when a person is coming to bank, right? Bank can give different provisions for people who are of senior citizens. Whatever the percentage of loan or interest that is being given to the normal clientele of the bank, above that, 1% above that can be given to senior citizens, right? This is what usually is practiced. But now, if we are saying that we are just giving extra percentile to people because it is easier for us, it is convenient for us, this is no explanation. The discrimination in any sort should be legal. आपकी मर्जी है, because you want to do discrimination, because it is convenient for you to do discrimination, is not a justification. Statement number 2 is incorrect. Statement number 3 and 4 are correct. 5 is also incorrect. Why? Because section 21A of the BR Act allows court to reopen interest transactions. Court do not interfere in RBI's or bank rules. Okay, regarding interest. Yes, very good, very good. C is the correct answer. Very good, Archana ji, Shruti ji, Atul ji, and Naga ji, Sharad ji. Very good. Now, from this unit, returns, inspection, winding up, and mergers. This is pretty easy unit. Okay, maybe a question will come from here. One, approx maximum two. Like two is happens in rare situations, but one minimum from this particular unit. This unit talks about the returns, that the returns should be filed within this and this date. That some returns are filed on the quarterly basis every 7th day. Some are filed next month. Some are to be kept the CRR returns, and they have to be filed every 14th day. And this is how things go. And if you do not file the returns on time, you can face penalties. You have to mention, you have to give your profit and loss sheet of whatever bank you are. If you are a government of nature, like you are an RRB or a public bank, you have to give your returns after the end of every year. You have 3 months to present that to whom? To parliament, because you are a government bank. You have to print out your profit and loss and balance sheet in the newspaper, not of general interest, but where there is economics, law, or business specific magazine there. Okay, now moving forward, question number 1. Question number 8 from module A. ABC Banking Limited, a private sector banking company, finalized its bank balance sheet and P&L account for a financial year ended on March 2025. The bank appointed Mr. R, a CA registered with ICAI, as its statutory auditor for this year. While auditing, Mr. R raised concerns about, first, inadequate branch returns from certain rural branches, large-scale derivative transactions entered without board's approval, misstatement in provisioning the P&L account. While Mr. R is preparing his audit report, RBI, based on its market intelligence, suspected unusual lending patterns to the group of the connected borrowers and ordered a special unit under BR Act. Special audit is conducted where? Under Section 31B, covering the transactions from October 24 to March 2025. RBI instructed Mr. R to conduct this audit. Additionally, the board proposed to reappoint Mr. R. Can you reappoint, or remove a CA, like auditor, without RBI's permission? No. So they have reappointed Mr. R without RBI's approval. Which of the following statements are correct? Which of the following statements are correct? Question is on the screen. Statement number 1 is correct. Statement number 1 is correct. He is qualified person. We can do audit. Mr. R is a CA. Statement number 2 is not correct. The board can reappoint. No, they cannot, not without RBI's approval. So statement number 2 is incorrect. Statement number 3 is correct. Statement number 4 is also incorrect. Why? Because while RBI's direction to Mr. R to conduct special audit is binding, yes it is, and the expense will be borne by RBI. No, the expense is borne by the regulated entity, that is the bank, ABC Bank. Not the RBI, but the regulated entity. So statement number 4 is also incorrect. That will give us C as the correct answer. C is the correct answer, Nagaji. C is the correct answer. Very good, Shrutiji. C is the correct answer. Next question. A large private sector bank, Capital Shore Bank Limited, has recently been flagged by the RBI due to concerns about a specific series of high-risk disbursal between 22-23. The RBI, acting under the provisions of the BR Act, has initiated regulatory actions. The RBI has directed a special audit to be conducted, focusing exclusively on the housing loan portfolio disbursed in financial year 22-23. RBI has asked the statutory auditor of the bank to carry out the audit. The entire cost of the audit is borne by Capital Shore. Concurrently, the RBI has initiated an inspection of the bank's top 5 branch under its annual risk-based supervision program. SPARS की full form, please everybody remember. Okay? Annual risk-based supervision program. During the inspection, several bank officials, including directors, have been asked to produce internal communication records and financial statements. One senior director, who was also examined under oath, the inspection was ordered following directions from the central government, which has demanded a copy of the report. The RBI is also conducting a separate scrutiny but has not provided a copy of scrutiny report to the bank since no adverse action is currently being considered. Which of the following statements are correct? Okay, this is a big question. It took a lot of time for you to read. Now see the questions, the assertions. The RBI has the power to order special audit. Can RBI order special audit? Yes, RBI can. In the case of inspection, RBI is required to furnish a copy of report to the central government. Yes, it is. The bank director and the officer are legally bound to submit documents and examine under oath both inspection and scrutiny. Yes, it is. Also, it is a requirement. The scrutiny RBI must furnish a copy of report to the banking company irrespective of nature of finding. No, there is no mandate that RBI will provide you with a copy. If there is no adverse action taken, if you are not doing any, you are not taking any step against the specific bank, there is no need of giving them a scrutiny copy. So statement number 4 is incorrect. Statement number 5 is correct. The special cost will be borne by the bank. The special cost initiated by RBI must be paid by Reserve Bank, not banking company. Yes. See, normal audits के लिए RBI the regulated entity pays, okay? But for special audit, it is paid by whom? The RBI. So statement number 5 is correct. That will give us, the audit cost is paid by always the bank, not RBI. The audit is always paid by bank, not RBI. RBI can initiate it, but RBI will not pay for it. Statement number 5 is also incorrect. That will give us 1, 2 and 3 as correct. A is the correct answer. Very good, very good, very good. Mathematics for 10th. Which of the following statements correctly describes the supervisory mechanism and initiative from the Board of Finance Supervision? Daksh is a physical inspection tool used by the RBI. Yeah, no, it is not. See, it is saying physical inspection. It is for web. This is for web-based end-to-end encryption monitoring platform, not physical tool. So statement number 1 is incorrect. Wherever 1 is mentioned, let's eliminate that. 2 and 4 are common. 2 and 4 are common. Let's see 3 and 5. BFS plays no role in issuing directions on regulatory issuance to department under purview. This statement is incorrect. BFS does issue instructions on regulatory and supervisory matters. Statement number 3 is incorrect. Statement number 4 is correct. That will give us D as the correct answer. D as the correct answer. Next, we have different types of banks. This unit is important. Make sure that you go through the notes that I have provided for it. Public sector banks mean the banks which are owned by the government, where government has 51 or more % of interest. Public sector banks can issue IPOs. Public sector banks mean the banks made under the nationalized bank. Nationalization of bank 1970 and 1980 comes. Currently we have 12 public sector banks. We have SBI under SBI Act. There is BR Act, the dates of BR Act, the date of RBI Act, the date of SBI Act needs to be remembered. You need to go through those specific notes of module unit 5. Then we have RRB. Then we have private sector banks. Private sector banks are categorized into two: those who are made before 1968 and those made after 1968. There is two: old and new private sector banks. Then we have RRBs. RRB may 50% capital is of the central government, 35% is of the sponsor bank, and 15% is of the state government. This is how the capital structure is. The board, the person, whoever the director is, appointed by the sponsor bank in consultation with NABARD, not by any central state government or central government. Then we have differentiated bank. Currently in India there are only 2 differentiated bank. Cooperative banks, these are made under State and Central Cooperative Society Act. Local area banks, these are also less in these are also less in number in India. Again, there is 5-6 pages of notes here for revision purpose. Please go through those. Question number 1. Question number 11 from module A. Question number 11. The chairman and MD are same individuals. If they are same individuals, why are we giving them same name? Why are we giving them same name? They are different, right? It is larger banks have different CEOs and different MDs and different chairpersons. So statement number 1 is incorrect. Up to 3 directors may be elected by central shareholders other than central government. Yes. A CA with 15 years of experience may be nominated as board in consultation with the RBI. Yes. B is the correct answer. Very, very good, Shruti and Nagaji. Very good mathematics for 10th. Which of the following statements correctly relate to the structural and governance framework? 35% by sponsor bank, 50 by central government, and 15 by state government. This is correct. Chairman of RRB is appointed by NABARD in consultation with central government. No, it is appointed by the sponsor bank in consultation with NABARD. So statement number 2 is incorrect. Statement number 3 is also correct. That will give us A as the correct answer. Next question. Next question. Statement number 1 is correct. Statement number 2 is not correct. Why? Section 36(1)(d) relates to removal of managerial and other personals is fully applicable to public sector banks. See. Section 36 is applicable, but this specific 1D is not applicable to public sector banks. Okay, this specific clause is not applicable. So statement number 2 is incorrect. Others are correct. That will give us A as the correct answer. Next, we have NBFCs. NBFC, very important unit. Very, very important unit. See, from unit 5 and unit 6, minimum of 5 questions will come. 5 marks from unit 5 and 6. Okay, so 5 में हमें क्या पढ़ना है? We need to know different types of banks and what are the composition, what under which act they are made, so what is the category they are going to fall under. Okay, then we have unit 6. इसमें we are talking about NBFCs, and NBFC again is very important. NBFC में what is NBFC? Non-banking financial institutions. So we have different types of NBFCs, and we have 4 layers for NBFC, which came into force from 2021 October. Okay, now these 4 layers are important. Question will get asked to you that what is the net on fund of NBFC? Different NBFCs have different net on funds. You have the PPT, you have to go through that, you have to remember that. Then different NBFCs will fall under different categories. What are these categories? These 4 layers are super important. That is base layer, middle layer, upper layer, and top layer. There is nobody in top layer currently. There are people who are the NBFCs who do not accept deposit and have less than 1,000 crore capital will come under this base layer. NBFC accepting deposit and not accepting deposit above 10,000 crore net on capital if they have, so they'll come in middle level. And the top one are people who are taking lot of risk. So they'll come in upper. There is nobody at the top level. You have to remember these layers, the composition of these layers, and specifically focus in whole of this unit. Okay. Now question number one. See, there are different provisions of these ki kitna net on funds hoga. For northeast area there is different. For MFIs there is different. For factors it is different. Again, remembering that is important. And if you have already registered under it is mandatory for all the NBFCs to get registered with RBI. But if you are already registered with Nidhi under Nidhi Act or under Chit Fund Act or with SEBI or IRDA or this housing National Housing Act, in these you do not have to get registered again. This is something you have to focus on. Okay. Now, please attempt question number 14 on the screen. Question number 14 is on the screen. Zeta Holding Limited, incorporated in 2024, planning to begin its operations and financial intermediaries, providing a service of small enterprise and participating in infrastructure project funding. It owned a net on fund of 3 CR. The management is unsure about whether they have to get RBI's registration. They seek your help to assess the following. The company has operated as chit business and they are registered under chit fund. If you are registered already in chit fund, you do not need to get registered again. They have initiated insurance under IRDA. So if they are registered in IRDA, no need to register again. They plan to start factoring services under the Factoring Service Act of 2011 and aim to grow their assets side to 600 crore in 2 years. They are planning to float a separate venture registered with SEBI. If you are registered with SEBI, no need to get it registered again. They are also planning to launch an arm in Northeast under the NBFC MFI model with an expected size of 400 CR. Which of the statements are correct? So exemption under chit fund, yes, statement number 1 is correct. C means this. They will require to register with NBFCs because the net size has crossed 500 crore. This statement is again correct. If your size is above 500 crore, okay, and you are a factoring NBFC, you need requirement. Anyhow, अगर आप किसी और में registered नहीं हो, if you are not registered under any other act, you will have to get registered. Even if the size was not 500 CR, even then you have to get registered because factoring there is no other specific act. Statement number 3 is incorrect. Why? The B means IRDA wala do not require registration and they are saying they need registration. So no dual registration is required. NBFC MFI mentioned in E must have a minimum of 5 CR, net fund of 5 CR, which they do not need. The point is, see, when you are a normal MFI, okay, the requirement is 5 crore, okay, 5 crore. But when you are an NBFC in Northeast, the requirement, the NOF reduces to 2 CR. The NOF reduces to 2 CR. So this statement number 4 is incorrect. Statement number 4 is incorrect. Statement number 5 is correct. They do not have to get registered again. So 1, 2 and 5 are correct. That will give us B as the correct answer. B is the correct answer. Is this question clear to everybody? Anji, please give me a reply whether this question is clear to everybody or not. Next question. Question number 15 is on the screen. Which of the following statements correctly relate to internal capital assessment and capital requirement for NBFCs under RBI's scale-based framework? NBFCs must adopt the exact ICAP methodology prescribed for commercial banks under Pillar 2. Banks and NBFCs are different. The rules and regulations for both are little different. There are specific guidelines for both of these given. So exactly same things we cannot accept from commercial bank and NBFCs. This exact word is incorrect, making statement number 1 as incorrect. Statement number 2 and 3 are correct. Statement number 2 and 3 are correct. See, there is a question. So 2 and 3 are correct. Sorry. See, there is a question of CRAR. Okay. This specific CRAR formula, the minimum requirement for gold NBFCs, the minimum requirement of normal NBFCs in the tier 1 and tier 2 capital is very important. Very, very important. If you are an NBFC, the CRAR should be above 15%. Okay, minimum is 15%. Out of these 15%, 10% should be tier 1 capital and minimum 10% should be tier 1 capital and the remaining can be tier 2 capital. If you are a gold giving and loan giving on gold, if you are an NBFC of gold NBFC, if you are there, you are dealing in gold giving loan on gold, then the tier 1 capital should be minimum 12%. Now how will you remember this? By looking at the PDF that I have given to you. So reading unit 5 and 6 is very important for you. Now next question. Yes, let's attempt this question. Question number 16. A good question. The formula for CRAR is equals to tier 1 plus 2 upon risk weighted assets into 100. ठीक है, into 100. Tier 1 we have is 120 CR. Tier 2 we have is 40 CR. 120 plus 40 is 160 CR. 160 CR upon risk weighted asset is 1000 CR. 160 upon 1000 into 100 will give us 16%. Will give us 16%. And 16 minimum 15% हमें चाहिए होता है. This CRAR should be minimum of 15%. Thus making statement number 3 as correct. Statement number 2 is correct as well. Why? Because NBFCs fails to qualify to meet 75% in. See, they're saying कि जो ये वाला NBFC है, IFC means infrastructure working NBFC deploys 70% in infrastructure. If you want to get categorized as an infrastructure NBFC, you have to deploy at least 75% of your assets in what? In infrastructure. You are not meeting the infrastructure requirement of 75%. Thus, you are not qualified enough. This statement is correct. Now, I've already told you, if you are a gold giving, if you are NBFC dealing in gold, the minimum tier 1 capital should be 12%, and you are not meeting that. And we are not meeting that. And it is saying the company fails to meet the minimum tier 1 capital. Yes, it does fail to meet tier 1 capital. So, all the statements given here are correct. D is the correct answer. D is the correct answer. Now, how will you know that this is correct? 16%. See, a formula based question can come from this specific area. Okay, so this formula is important for you. Next we have is unit 7. Unit 7 mein we are talking about this financial sector legislative reforms. So first came, we needed reforms. The technology came, the LPG policy came. We are saying that we need to start globalization, we need to start liberalization. There was privatization being followed. हमने अब government control छोड़ दिया. We are losing government control from places. The government is losing control from places, like reducing its control. Now, for reducing its control from banking sector, we said let's make a committee ki how should we improve the banking sector. So Narasimha Committee 1 came in 1991. How will you remember 1991? By remembering that LPG policy came in 1991. 1991 में जब हमारा LPG policy आया था तब नरसिम्हा कमेटी 1 आया था. They said that CRAR की जो CRR and SLR है उसका percentage are very high. You are not focusing on good quality of staff. You are focusing on number of banks. That is wrong. They criticized the banking structure a lot and they made changes. Then in 1998, Narasimha Committee 2 came to check that whatever the provisions that were made in Narasimha Committee 1, are they getting followed properly? And if they are getting followed properly, are they giving any impact on the banks? This is what Narasimha Committee 2 came. And they again suggested what should be done in improving the conditions of the bank. Now, are these committee requirements important? Reading this is not important. But जो फाइनेंशियल स्टेबिलिटी एंड डेवलपमेंट काउंसिल है ये पता होना चाहिए, इसकी कॉम्पोजिशन पता होनी चाहिए, ये कब आई पता होना चाहिए. दिस केम इन December 2010. We can even some places it says that it started from 2011, but it actually came into force in 2010. So if in the question examination it is given 2010 or 2011, both will be correct. Do not worry, because it is this is used to December 2010 में है, so it actually started working from 2011. So both are correct. ठीक है. अब इस composition of this council is super important. यूजुअली लोग बोलते हैं कि 1998 के बाद स्टेटमेंट्स कम केस 1998 की वजह से काउंसिल आई थी. नो, दिस काउंसिल वाज मेड सेपरेट फ्रॉम द 1998 नरसिम्हा कमेटी. इट केम इन 2010 और 2011 डैश करके आप लिख सकते हो. ठीक है. नाउ क्वेश्चन नंबर 1. Which of the following statements are correct regarding 1998 committee? The commission recommended eliminating government securities on stick advances of NPA. Yes, it did. The concept of ARC was introduced. Yes, ARC and NPAs was introduced in 1998 by 1998 commission. So statement number 2 is correct. Now they are saying this council formed in 1998. No, it was formed in 2010. Some places 2011. Both will be correct. So statement number 3 is incorrect. That will give us C as the correct answer. Next. This is important. The full form of CAMEL is capital adequacy, asset quality, management, earnings, liquidity, and sensitivity to market risk. You have to remember the full form of CAMEL. Lok Adalat, DRT and SARFAESI are key institutions for bank recovery. Yes, it is. CAMEL का full form यही होता है. CIBIL and CISIL. CIBIL is for assessing कि what is the person's loan credit worthiness, and CISIL is for large factories, large organizations, large businesses regarding their loan taking capacity. So statement number 3 is also correct. 1, 2, 3 all are correct. D is the correct answer. D is the correct answer. Now we have module B. Module B. In module A we have done a lot of questions. These are the important areas only which I have explained to you. मतलब specifically focus कहाँ पे करना है? 5 and 6 पे. And the sections of BR Act and RBI Act are important. ठीक है? That will cover most of the part of module A. Again, module A से 10 to 12 questions will be there. Now module B carries 15 to 17 questions. Isme the focus area is NI Act. We have 3 types of instruments in NI Act. That is promissory note, bill of exchange, and check. Now the provisions of dishonor of check, that is given from section 138 to section 148. Specifically 138 is talking about dishonor of check. What is the punishment for dishonor of check? It is 2 years or fine or both. Fine kitna? Will tell me what is the fine under NI Act. Under what is the fine for dishonor of check? Now then there is charge, which you have to focus on. Charge ke liye from section 138 to 148 of NI Act you have to read the section numbers. You have to read of 138 to 148 of NI Act. So then we have unit 12, 13 and 14 talking about charge. Charge kya hota hai? What is charge? Charge is that we have given a loan to somebody else and the security interest that they have given, this process of us giving loan and creating a security interest is called charge. अब चार्ज में किस किस तरीके से सिक्योरिटी इंटरेस्ट क्रिएट हो सकता है? बाय मॉर्गेज, बाय लियन, बाय सेट ऑफ, बाय प्रोप्रिएशन, बाय actionable claim. These then there is one appropriation tha. There is one more word from so there is one area. Mahima ji, all the PDFs are uploaded in the app. You can download the PDFs from there. Now, so these charges, the types of charges are super important, specifically the mortgage area, because mortgage mein there are 6 types of mortgage. One is simple, conditional, usufructuary, English, deposit of title deed, and anonymous. These 6 mortgages are again being talked about. These are talked specifically in module D, unit 12, and then in module D in TPA under unit 30. तो मॉर्गेज स्पेसिफिक एरिया आपको पढ़ना है कि डिफरेंस क्या है इन 6 टाइप्स ऑफ मॉर्गेजेस में, व्हाट इज द बेसिक डिफरेंस. नाउ the one point that I want you to remember is that हर मॉर्गेज को रजिस्टर करना जरूरी होता है एक्सेप्ट डिपॉजिट बाय टाइटल डीड. And second is that English mortgage में and simple mortgage, that in English mortgage and simple mortgage, the mortgager makes himself personally liable. There is a personal covenant in simple and English mortgage. The difference between all of these are given to with examples in the PDFs provided to you. Then there is satisfaction, creation and registration of charge. This is given under unit 14. Satisfaction of charge means, देखो, it is said पहले what used to happen was कि हर charge को register कराना जरूरी था. That it was mandatory It was mandatory for us to register the charge. This was the mandate. But this mandate got removed. It was said कि आप register कराओगे आपका benefit है. How? If you get the charge registered, it is your benefit. How? Because when you are getting the charge registered, you are getting priority. What used to happen was that if you do not register the charge within the specified time, you have to give extra fees and you have to face penalties. But people were again very lethargy. The banks and the were very busy, so they were not getting the charge registered easily. So what the law did, they made changes. In 2016 came the changes and it said कि आप ना charge register नहीं कराओगे कोई बात नहीं, आपकी loss, it is your loss. That is, if you are not registered the charge, you will not be able to go to SARFAESI, first of all. And if you have not registered the charge, the one who gets the charge register will get the priority. The one who gets the charge registered first gets the priority. What is the process of registration? This is given under different forms. What is the process of modification of charge? What is the process of satisfaction? अभी आपको process नहीं याद करना है, but you have to remember the form numbers. From number CHG1 to form number CHG9, you have to remember कि कहाँ पे satisfaction है, कहाँ making है, कहाँ modification है, कहाँ registration है. There is a short form of remembering it, again given to you by me in the PDF. चार्ज को रजिस्टर कराने का बता दिया मैंने आपको. अब आपने चार्ज रजिस्टर कराया, कंपनी इसको चार्ज रजिस्टर सिर्फ और सिर्फ सरसाई के पास नहीं कराना होता. कंपनी इस चार्ज रजिस्टर कराती है सरसाई प्लस रजिस्ट्रार ऑफ द कंपनी के पास. एंड रजिस्ट्रार ऑफ द कंपनी के पास आपको चार्ज रजिस्टर विद इन 30 डेज कराना होता है. 30 to 60 डेज में रजिस्ट्रार इग्नोर्स द टाइम पीरियड, इग्नोर कर देगा. 60 to 120 डेज में यू हैव टू पे एक्स्ट्रा फीस. And above 120 days, there is some penalties which companies have to follow under Companies Act with the registrar of the charge. I hope there is no confusion regarding charge. Again, अगर आपने charge register कराया है, if you have gotten the charge register, then it is mandatory for you to register the satisfaction also. Satisfaction मतलब कि charge पूरा payment हो गई है, that is loan has been paid off. Now the property is free of encumbrances, that nobody else has right over the property. So if you have gotten the charge registered, it is mandatory for you to get the satisfaction registered within 30 days. जिस दिन आप चार्ज का satisfaction लेके जाओगे उसी दिन रजिस्ट्रार को वो रिकॉर्ड करना पड़ेगा and your property will be free. Property will be free of encumbrance. These are 4 units. First column है NI Act. Second, the 12, 13 and 14 talking about charge. From these 4 units, approximately 10 questions are going to come. Approximately 10 questions from these 4 units only. Then we have PSSA, that is Payment and Settlement Act. We have this Money Laundering Act. 2 to 3 question from Money Laundering Act. Money laundering क्या होता है? That is when you introduce the money that has been earned from tainted source, from illegal means, and you show them that you have earned them from legal means. That is known as money laundering, and we do not want money laundering to happen in India. We want money laundering activities to be stopped in India because ये money आके से रहा है illegal activities. We do not want illegal activities to happen. So there is a punishment. There is a punishment that is given under the PMLA, which is there. Now we have there is another act that is क्या नाम है, FEMA. ठीक है, there is another act that is FEMA. FEMA में that there was initially what used to happen was FERA, Foreign Exchange Regulation Act. Before 1991 there was an imposition in the India कि आप foreign countries में deal नहीं करोगे. We became very poor when we got independence, right? So what the government did is they said every sector in the country will be under the government. Every sector will be working as per the government requirement, and you cannot export. You cannot import goods. So there was restriction on globalization. Okay. Now this restriction got removed in 1991. So ये restrictions को follow करने के लिए we had FERA, that is Foreign Exchange Regulation Act. But now we have LPG policy in 1991. हमें globalization करना, we want the country to grow. We are out from the means of death. We are out from the poor stage of the country. We are now in the developing stage. Let's start globalization. People were now scared कि अगर FERA लग गया हमारे पे, if FERA got supplied on us, will be sent to jail. So for that we removed FERA and we got FEMA. FEMA में फॉरेन एक्सचेंज मैनेजमेंट की बात होती है. हाउ डज फॉरेन एक्सचेंज दैट इज कमिंग फ्रॉम आउटसाइड इंडिया बी मैनेज्ड? For FERA was criminal, FEMA is civil in nature. FERA में हर चीज के लिए जेल टाइम था. FEMA में it is penalties, but for one or two things there are punishments. For a contravention of 5 years penalties can be taken. ठीक है. Every money that is coming out from outside India or every transaction that is getting outside India, we have to record that and we have to comply with FEMA. ठीक है. There is current account transaction and capital account transaction in FEMA. Again 2 to 3 questions from FERA or FEMA. Now we have PSSA. इसमें ना 4 points है. First is payment provider, payment payment providers, payment क्या कहते हैं, there is payment providers, there is the app that we are working on, there is payment participant, there is payment providers and there is system participant, system providers, system participants. अब इन सब का डिफरेंस क्या होता है ये आपको पता होना चाहिए. 1 maybe 2 question will come from this area. Now I have given a gist about module B. There is the things that you have to focus on. Again notes को पढ़ना पड़ेगा. You have to remember, give a read to the notes. Questions start from unit 8. Question number 1 is on the screen. Question number 1 is on the screen. Statement number 1 is correct. Statement number 2 is incorrect. Why? The records of identity documents and business correspondence must be retained for 5 years from the date of transaction. The rule is 5 years. The rule is 5 years. 5 years in both the cases. 5 years retention of records. In case of identity docs, last transaction, closing of account or relationship ends, and transaction के लिए transaction में from last transaction. फाइव ईयर्स ही रूल है, बट डिफरेंट चीज के डिफरेंट. आइडेंटिटी डॉक्यूमेंट में 5 years फ्रॉम क्लोजिंग ऑफ अकाउंट एंड ट्रांजैक्शन के लिए 5 years फ्रॉम लास्ट ट्रांजैक्शन, फ्रॉम व्हेन द ट्रांजैक्शन हैपेंड. That will give us A as the correct answer. Next, question number 2. See, the question is saying देखो अभी we'll read statement number 3 very carefully. Every porting entity must maintain records of all cash transaction exceeding 10 lakhs. Yes. Cash transaction using counterfeit notes must be reported even if the amount is below 10 lakhs. Yes. The monthly aggregate of smaller cash transaction under 10 lakh is ignored if individually they do not cross the limit. अब इसका मतलब क्या है? What is this specific statement saying? मंथली एग्रीगेट ये कह रहा है कि अगर मान लो सपोज मैं बैंक गई, ठीक है, आई एम गोइंग टू बैंक एंड आई एम पुटिंग 1 lakh 2 lakh लेस देन 10 lakh in each transaction. In each transaction I am putting less than 10 lakhs, and if the transaction for a year crosses 10 lakh, we have to report that. But if it has not crossed 10 lakhs, we do not have to report that. See, if they are individually not crossing the limit, we'll not ignore it. if the amount is above 10 lakh in total, if the aggregate is above 10 lakh rupees, if the aggregate is above 10 lakh rupees or making to 10 lakh rupees, we have to report that, making statement number 3 as incorrect. Making statement number 3 as incorrect. C is the correct answer. Next question. Next question, please. देखो सेल्फ अटेस्टेड बिल क्या होता है? सेल्फ अटेस्टेड यूटिलिटी बिल. आई वेंट टू डू सम शॉपिंग. यूटिलिटी बिल मतलब मैंने सामान खरीदा है, एंड जस्ट साइनिंग दैट. सेल्फ अटेस्टिंग मीन्स साइनिंग दैट इज सफिशिएंट प्रूफ ऑफ फाइनेंशियल स्टेटस. Just because I'm capable enough, I have a lavish lifestyle does not tell me what my financial status is. What if I'm living on credit? What if I'm living a fancy life by डूइंग इलीगल एक्टिविटीज, है ना? तो ये फाइनेंशियल स्टेटस नहीं बताता है मेरे को. मे बी आई एम वो क्या नाम है, पर्सन हु डज नॉट लाइक टू स्पेंड मनी. सो स्टेटमेंट नंबर 2 इज इनकरेक्ट. स्टेटमेंट नंबर 1 and 3 आर करेक्ट. दैट विल गिव अस A as the correct answer. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. नेक्स्ट वी हैव इज NI Act. इंपॉर्टेंट है ये. इसमें द डिफरेंस बिटवीन प्रॉमिसरी नोट, बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज एंड चेक इज इंपॉर्टेंट. ठीक है. प्रॉमिसरी नोट इज अनकंडीशनल प्रॉमिस. बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज इज अनकंडीशनल ऑर्डर टू पे. चेक इज अनकंडीशनल ऑन बैंक टू पे. अगर बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज को ड्रॉई एक्सेप्ट नहीं करता है, बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज की फुटिंग खत्म हो जाती है. व्हाट डज दैट मीन? Yes, it can be ignored if it is under 10 lakh rupees. But if the transaction, aggregate transaction is equal to 10 lakh rupees or above, then we do not ignore that. We do not ignore that. Now, I was telling you something. Yeah. Can you, do you want me to give you an example of bill of exchange where the drawee does not accept the payment? Do you want me to give you an example of bill of exchange? Chale. And what is important is section 138 and a reading of name, title number, title short title basically कहते हैं उसे law में. Title of sections 138 to 148 is must. You have to remember this. Yes, C is correct. Now, question is on the screen. Question is on the screen. The timeline the timeline for section 138 is important. The timeline says that from the date of dishonor, the complainant, the other party whose check got dishonored, has 30 days to send a notice to the party whose account has insufficient means. Okay? From the date of dishonor, the party has 30 days to send a notice to notice we have to mention that make the payment. The other party, that is the person who has issued the check, the drawer, has to give a reply within 15 days. If he does not give you a reply within 15 days, you have your cause of action arise and you have 30 days to file a case against that person. So 30 days from dishonor for sending a notice, 30 days for notice. The timeline PPT, 15 days to reply of notice, 15 days wait for notice reply, and if the 15 days period ends, you have 30 days to sue under section 138 for dishonor of check. 30 days कब से? From No reply. When no reply period ends, you have 30 days. Can this 30 days period be ignored? Yes, if you show under section 5 of article 5 of Limitation Act, if you show that there was specific genuine reasons that you couldn't file the case within 30 days, and there are reasons that the court approves, you can get more than 30 days. But the rule is 30 days. You have to remember this time, this specific thing you have to remember. Learn करनी पड़ेगी 100%. Now, question is on the screen. The competent court can order interim compensation of 20% of the check amount. Yes, if the drawer pleads guilty कर लिया है, मतलब suppose 20% तो ठीक है, but this statement is incorrect. Why? देखो, अगर मैंने बोल दिया कि हाँ मेरी गलती है, मुझे पैसे देने चाहिए थे, if I am pleading guilty that yes it was my mistake, then the court will not continue with the court case ना. कोर्ट कहेगा दो फिर पैसे जब आप मान रहे हो. Give the money if you are accepting that you should have given money. Why are you not giving the money? If the party says नहीं देने मुझको पैसे, if the party does not plead guilty, in that case interim compensation up to 20% can be given. Statement number 1 is incorrect. 3 and 4 are correct. 3 and 4 are correct. 60 days में interim compensation देनी जरूरी होती है, and it can be extended up to 30 days. This is correct. Not guilty होगा, so that is correct. That will give us B as the correct answer. Now, the letter IOU is not saying कि मैं promise कर रहा हूँ. Just एक IOU words लिख दो. मैं letter कुछ भी लिख देती हूँ. I am D. ऐसा नहीं लिख सकती मैं कुछ भी. I am Devshree. I am D लिख दूँ मैं. या HBD लिखते हैं. People use HBD. Happy birthday. Will that be sufficient? Short forms does not work in law. And there is no promise. Promissory note में you have to promise the other party कि I am going to pay you. In some certain time, I am going to pay you. This statement of IOU is not a promissory note. It is not a promissory note. Everything except 2 is correct. That will give us A as the correct answer. Good question. A very good question. Question number 6 is on the screen. Statement number, चलो इससे पहले आप मुझे बताओ, आंसर देने से पहले नॉर्मल. A issues promising 5 lakh to Mr. Sharma after 60 days. No other party involved. Promise कर रहा है, that is it is a promissory note. Directs his client Mr. Gupta to pay 4 lakhs to Mr. Arora. We are asking somebody else to pay. We are asking somebody else to pay. Mr. Gupta is what? Mr. Gupta is drawee. Rakesh is drawer. Mr. Arora is payee. Mr. Arora जो जिसको पैसे मिल रहा है वो होता है payee. ठीक है? See, under bill of exchange, it is mandatory for drawee to accept. Unless and otherwise Mr. Gupta has accepted कि ठीक है, I'll make the payment on your behalf. The bill of exchange has no footing. It does not stand in the eyes of law. It does not have any footing in the eyes of law. So, statement number 1 is promise. A is promissory note. B is bill of exchange. अनकंडीशनल ऑर्डर नहीं होता, अनकंडीशनल प्रॉमिस होता है प्रॉमिसरी नोट में, एंड अनकंडीशनल ऑर्डर होता है बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज में. तो स्टेटमेंट नंबर 2 इज इनकरेक्ट. इट इज अपोजिट. 3 is correct. That will give us A as the correct answer. Now we have FEMA. Foreign Exchange Management Act. ठीक है? Question is on the screen. Current account and capital account. इसका डिफरेंस पता होना चाहिए. डिफरेंस इज करंट अकाउंट में नॉर्मल एक्टिविटीज लाइक एजुकेशन, medical expense, and old loans. ओल्ड लोन्स कम, ओल्ड लोन्स आते हैं. कैपिटल अकाउंट में ट्रांजैक्शंस विच कैन ऑल्टर, ऑल्टर मतलब चेंज कर सकता है, चेंज, ऑल्टर आर असेट्स एंड लायबिलिटीज विल कम, लायबिलिटीज विल कम. ठीक है. करंट अकाउंट में ट्रांजैक्शंस रिलेटेड टू एजुकेशन, मेडिकल एंड ओल्ड लोन्स विल कम. ठीक है. अब आप क्वेश्चन ढंग से रीड करो और रीड द क्वेश्चंस प्रॉपर्ली प्लीज. Read the question. Mr. Ravi, an Indian citizen. Acha, one more point. When will a person be considered that he is an NRI? When will a person be considered that he is an NRI? When he was not in India for at least 182 days in the previous financial year. Okay? But he will also not be considered as an NRI, a citizen of India, resident of India, not citizen, resident of India, if he has gone outside India for job purpose or for business purpose or for education purpose. In all of these situations, a person can be changed. हमें पता नहीं हम वापस कब आने वाला है. We do not know when we are going to come back. In that situation, we will be considered as an NRI. Suppose I am shifting to UK for 3 years to study to do my masters. Okay. Now, if I suppose I want to do my MBA and I want to shift to USA. Will I be called a resident of India or not? Why? I'll be called an NRI. Why? Because I've gone there. I'm going there for more than 1 year. But so 182 days तो निकल ही गया criteria. But I'll be called an NRI also because it is not sure that I'll come back to India or not. Maybe I'll start working there. Okay, maybe I'll get employment there. Now, Mr. Ravi, a Indian citizen, a resident of UAE. मतलब Mr. Ravi क्या है? NRI है. He is visiting India for 2 months. He engaged in these transactions, the following transactions. Pays 5 lakhs as college fees. So education fees दे रहा है तो ये क्या हुआ? Current account. This is current account transaction. Medical treatment भी क्या हुआ? Current account transaction. Invest 10 lakhs in debentures in Indian company. इन्वेस्ट कर रहा है मतलब he is increasing his assets. He is increasing his asset. जब आपकी assets and liabilities alter हो रही है, when your assets and liabilities are getting altered, it is a capital account expense. It is a capital account transaction. Purchases foreign mutual funds of 20,000 rupees from NRE account. This is also a capital expense because he is buying what? An asset. Pays 50,000 interest on loan for old loan of 2015. Old loan किस में जाएगा? Current account में. Old loan will go on current account. Transaction 1 is permissible in FEMA. Current account transactions are permissible in India. Transaction 2 is permissible in India, but does it need RBI approval? No, it does not. For doing capital account transactions, we need RBI approval, but for doing current account transactions, we do not need RBI approval. So statement number 2 is incorrect. It does not require RBI approval. Yes, it does not require RBI approval. It does not require RBI approval. So statement number 2 is also correct. Statement number 3 is correct. That will give us D as the correct answer. D is the correct answer. Yes. Moving forward. See, you were giving answers. Now you have again stopped giving me answers. What is wrong? Why are you not giving answers? Why are you not giving replies to the questions? A resident of India can receive foreign exchange from resident outside India directly, even without routing it through authorized personnel, provided it is in Indian rupees. क्या? चलो ठीक है. Let's take an example here. क्या मैं सपोज मेरी सिस्टर रहती है UAE में, कर लेते हैं. ठीक है. She lives in UAE. Now, can she give me cash money? Rupees? Can she give me direct transactions with me? Can she give me rupees? without routing it through proper area, without getting government approval, can she give me lakhs of rupees? No, because you are not allowed to do transactions without RBI's approval. FEMA mandates that foreign exchange received by a person, by authorized person, is only allowed. There is no exemption on INR. आप बाहर वाले जने से पैसे ले रहे हो, नॉन रेजिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया से पैसे ले रहे हो, चाहे वो इंडियन रुपीज में हो, चाहे वो फॉरेन करेंसी में हो, डजेंट मैटर. If you are taking money, it should be via authorized personal authorized transactions only. Statement number 1 is incorrect. B is correct. B is the answer. 2 and 3 are correct. Next question. Now, ये contravention है. This specific question is put here because you need to remember the punishment. The punishment under FEMA is important. ठीक है. अगर आपने जो ट्रांजैक्शन करा है वो क्वांटिफाइबल है, इफ यू डू अ ट्रांजैक्शन विच इज क्वांटिफाइबल, दैट इज यू आर एबल टू डिटरमाइन द अमाउंट, then the punishment is twice the contravention, twice the quantity. ठीक है. It is एक मिनट, twice है या thrice, it is 3 times the quantity, it is 3 times the amount. But when it is not quantifiable, that is you're not able to determine कि कितना पैसा involved है, what is the amount that is involved, then the penalty is 2 lakh rupees. And for every day, every transaction, for every single day, you have to pay 5,000 rupees additional, because every transaction, every contravention under FEMA is continuous in nature. ठीक है. Acquisition of foreign assets exceeding the threshold only leads to confiscation, not criminal prosecution. You can be, if you are contravening FEMA na, you can be sent to jail for 5 years. If you are contravening FEMA again and again, you can be sent to jail. Fine तो होता ही है, usually we put fine, but in some situation jail time is also there, and up to 5 years you can be sent to jail. ठीक है. So C is the correct answer because statement number 3 is incorrect. Now we have PSSA, Payment and Settlement Act. इसमें थोड़ी बहुत चीज़ आपको रीड करने की नीड है. देर इज नो पर से रिक्वायरमेंट, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है ये. दिस इज अबाउट डिफरेंट पॉइंट्स ऑफ पेमेंट सिस्टम प्रोवाइडर्स एंड एटसेट्रा. नाउ क्वेश्चन नंबर 1. अब यू ऑल नो व्हाट आरटीजीएस इज, व्हाट एनईएफटी इज. आरटीजीएस में ग्रॉस सेटलमेंट होता है, एनईएफटी में नेट सेटलमेंट होता है. एनईएफटी में हाफ आवरली बेसिस पार्टिसिपेशंस होते हैं, हाफ आवरली बेसिस ट्रांजैक्शंस होती है. आरटीजीएस में एग्जैक्ट उसी समय पे ट्रांजैक्शंस होती हैं, राइट. पेमेंट सिस्टम प्रोवाइडर एंड पेमेंट सेटलमेंट क्या होता है, सब कुछ यू हैव टू जस्ट गिव इट अ रीड. एक सिंगल रीड करोगे सफिशिएंट है. टाइम है, ठीक है, नहीं है कोई बात नहीं. Read the focus areas, so that read the important units that I've already mentioned, so that it is easier for you to focus down areas. इसको read कर लोगे बहुत अच्छी बात है. It will be good for you. Otherwise, focus on the areas. If you do not have time, focus on the areas that I've mentioned. Statement number 1 is incorrect. Why? Because gross settlement includes multiple payment. No, gross settlement happens in RTGS. RTGS is individual transaction होता है at the same time. There is no netting done. Statement number 1 is incorrect. 2 and 3 are correct. B is the correct answer. Question number 11. Which of the following statements accurately reflect the authorization and refusal framework? Statement number 1 is incorrect. Why? See, there is no FDI requirement of 51%. 51% इक्विटी होना चाहिए पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक का, ये रिक्वायरमेंट है. एफडीआई होना चाहिए 51% का, ऐसा कोई रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है. देयर इज नो सच रिक्वायरमेंट है. स्टेटमेंट नंबर 1 इज इनकरेक्ट. स्टेटमेंट नंबर 2 इज करेक्ट. बी इज द करेक्ट आंसर. नेक्स्ट, नाउ चार्ज important area, 5 marks minimum from unit 12, 13 and 14 together. मिनिमम बोल रही हूँ बिकॉज पता क्या है, एक क्वेश्चन आएगा. व्हाट इज कमिंग इन योर एग्जाम्स, यू हैव नोटिस्ड कि एक पैराग्राफ दे दिया, ठीक है, ये दे हैव गिवन यू अ पैराग्राफ एंड 5 क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम द सेम पैराग्राफ्स हैव कम. Same will happen in unit 12, 13 and 14. Same thing will happen in unit 12, 13 and 14 because एक ही चीज की रेफरेंस से आपको बार बार पूछा जाएगा कि कहाँ पे क्या सिक्योरिटी है, कहाँ पे क्या चार्ज है, कहाँ पे सेटिस्फैक्शन है, कहाँ रजिस्ट्रेशन है, क्या टाइमलाइन है, एटसेट्रा. क्वेश्चन इज ऑन द स्क्रीन. Question is on the screen. इक्विटेबल मॉर्गेज में सी as I've told you, mortgage को register कराना important है. Mortgage deed should be always in writing and it should always be registered. But equitable mortgage is an exception. We do not need to write it down. It is a choice and we do not need to register it. It is again a choice. Title deed मतलब अपनी property के paper ही आपने दे दिया. You have given your property paper. ठीक है? Now, question number 12 is on the screen. Please give me the answer. The covenant of giving the power of sale without court intervention can be added to retain the simplicity. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. If you want the property to be yours, सब मॉर्गेज में क्या होता है, मैंने आपको प्रॉपर्टी दी, आपने मुझे लोन दिया. आई गेव यू द प्रॉपर्टी, यू गेव मी द लोन. आई गेव यू द प्रॉपर्टी, आई क्रिएटेड अ चार्ज ऑफ यू ऑन द प्रॉपर्टी, यू गेव मी द लोन अगेंस्ट इट. इक्विटेबल मॉर्गेज में आई हैव गिवन यू अ प्रॉपर्टी पेपर्स ऑफ माइन. कैन यू डायरेक्टली सेल इट बिकॉज आई हैव रिटन इट कि आप कोर्ट के बिना सेल कर सकते हो, तो इस वजह से मेरे को ज्यादा पैसे दे दो? नो. All it is a requirement of us that you make sure that everything that is happening in mortgage, like if you want the property to be yours, if you want the property to be in your name, अब आप उसके ऑनर बनना चाहते हो, या if you want to get sell the property, if you want to foreclose or if you want to sell, you have to take the permission of the court. Without court permission, you cannot harm anybody else's right. Statement number 2 is incorrect. A is the correct answer. Next question. Which of the following statements regarding documents of title in immovable property and their admissibility are correct? The receipt revenue alone receives as a conclusive title of immovable property. Revenue receipt है उस प्रॉपर्टी का आपके पास. So that will tell you कि आप इसके ओनर हो. प्रॉपर्टी पेपर की नीड नहीं है. क्या ऐसा होता है? Do you not need the property papers to be in your name? Or whether just because you are paying taxes, it is sufficient? If you are giving revenue receipts, you are collecting rent over it, will that be sufficient proof that you are the owner of the property? No! You need the property, the proper sale deed to be in your name. The property of the ownership of the property is determined by the sale deed, by the property being in your name. Statement number 1 is incorrect. B is the correct answer. B is the correct answer. Next. Which of the following statements are correct with respect to simple mortgage and conditional sale? Simple mortgage में possession is not transferred. The possession of the property is transferred. No, it is not. Simple mortgage में there is a personal covenant. देखो, do you want me to explain the types of mortgage? Do you want me to explain the 6 types of mortgage? Simple mortgage में there is a personal covenant. Yes, there is a personal covenant. In the mortgage by conditional sale, the sale is absolute. No, it is not. Conditional sale में there is an ostensible sale. The sale for namesake only. The sale for ostensible sake. Fake sale. ठीक है? So there is no absolute nothing is absolute, nothing is automatic in law. Court जाओ, right declare कराओ. Go to court and get the rights declared. Statement number 3 is incorrect. 1 is incorrect. C is the correct answer. C is the correct answer. ठीक है? Okay. See, we have. चलो, let me give you a brief. ठीक है? Let me give you a brief of the types of mortgages. First we have is simple. Simple में मैं कह रही हूँ, I am telling you that, sir, please give me loan. मेरी एक प्रॉपर्टी है. I have a property. If I don't give you the money back now, sell that property of mine. I write that in, I give it in writing. मैं अपने आपको पर्सनली माइंड कर रही हूँ कि मैं आपको आपके पैसे वापस दूंगी. I'll give you your money back. But if I don't give your money back, I have a property. You can take that property. You can take that property. Make that property of yours. आप ले लेना, बेच देना, अपना पैसे ले लेना किसी तरीके से उस प्रॉपर्टी से. So here I am making myself personally liable. I am not giving transaction, no possession transferred, and there is a personal liability और covenant कह सकते हैं, और covenant that I will pay. कंडीशनल सेल में conditional sale is I am saying I'm making a fake ostensible sale. नाम के लिए मैं एक सेल कर रही हूँ. मैंने एक प्रॉपर्टी के पेपर बनाए, मैंने एक मॉर्गेज डीड बनाई. आई मेड अ मॉर्गेज डीड विद यू एंड आई अटैच्ड द सेल पेपर विद इट. सेल के पेपर कर दिए दैट द प्रॉपर्टी. My screen is working fine. Mathematics for 10, please. Am I audible to everybody? Am I audible? Hello? Okay. See, mathematics for 10, please check your internet connection. Everything at my end is perfect. The internet is perfect. I am not stuck. See, so conditional sale mein what we are doing a fake sale. A namesake sale is happening. And I am saying ki if I make the payment back to you, when amount is repaid, the sale will become void. The sale will become void. Then we have usufructory mortgage. Usufructory mortgage. इसमें क्या है? I'm giving the property. Possession of property transferred. Possession of property is transferred, and it is said that recover the money by using the property. आप अपने पास प्रॉपर्टी का पोजेशन तब तक रख सकते हो जब तक आपके पैसे पूरे नहीं होते. You can keep the property's possession with you until and unless till the time your principal and interest is paid off. ठीक है. Then we have English mortgage. English mortgage में a proper sale happens. A proper full-fledged proper sale happens. सेल डीड के साथ मैं एक मॉर्गेज डीड अटैच कर देती हूँ. इससे क्या होगा? इससे कहेंगे कि जब मैं आपको पैसे वापस दूंगी, आई मेक माई सेल्फ पर्सनली लाइबल. पर्सनल लाइबिलिटी, पर्सनल कवर्नेंट हो जाता है यहाँ. पर्सनल लाइबिलिटी दैट आई विल रीपे. And on repayment, you will resell the property. To me. आप मेरी प्रॉपर्टी मुझी को बेचोगे वापस. Property to me. You will resell the property to me only. ठीक है. Conditional sale में the sale will become void. English mortgage में we are saying that you are now the owner of the property. The moment I make the payment to you, you will give the property back to me. You will sell the property back to me. And anonymous mortgage में it is a mixture of types of mortgage. इन 5 तरह की mortgage में से एक इनका mixture कोई भी ले लेंगे. There is some unrecognized sort of mortgage, some practice that is getting followed somewhere, वो anonymous में आएगी. Now the fifth important point that we have is mortgage by deposit of title deed. Mortgage by deposit of title deed. That is मैं अपनी property के paper ही आपको दे रही हूँ. I am giving my property paper to you. And I am saying that, see, a property cannot be sold. A property cannot be sold without its property papers. कोई भी जाना, आपने कभी भी प्रॉपर्टी खरीदी होगी, if you have bought property in your life, like if you have seen somebody who have bought the property, first they check that the property is free from encumbrance, whether the property is in your name or not. And if I do not have the property papers with me, I'll not be able to sell it. किसी भी तरीके से मैं property बेच ही नहीं पाऊंगी. I'll not be able to sell it in any sort of way. So what I do is I give the property paper to you. I do not give the possession of the property. I rather give the property paper to you. And I say property paper आपके पास है, आपको पैसे दूंगी, property paper वापस दे देना. Give my property paper back to me. Now, every sort of mortgage need to be registered with the registrar. इसको लिखना जरूरी है, इसको रजिस्ट्रार के पास लेके जाना जरूरी है रजिस्टर। बट एंड मॉर्गेज ऑफ इक्विटेबल मॉर्गेज और मॉर्गेज बाय डिपॉजिट ऑफ टाइटल डीड दोनों एक ही बात है. In this situation, we do not need to register it. We do not need to write it. We do not need to register it. We do not need to write it. Neither we need any sort of covenant to add to it. But in any 6 types of mortgage, if you want the property to be absolutely yours, you want the other party to not interfere in the possession, and if their person has not given you the money back, you have to go to court, either for your money or for selling out the property that you have, or for foreclosing, that is getting the property in your name, अपनी property खुद बनाने के लिए. Now, it is written, जगह जगह there will be written that in notified towns only equitable sale will happen. Make sure that you ignore that notified point part. ठीक है, अगर आप उसको in detail जाओगे ना तो आपको उसे समझना पड़ेगा, and you do not have time for that. So equitable mortgage ना सब जगह acceptable नहीं होती है. Every state do not accept equitable mortgage. What happen is equitable mortgage किसी state में मना है कि आपको वो भी लिखनी पड़ेगी. You have to write that down. So in that situation, like Mumbai है, कोलकाता है, what we see is प्रॉपर्टी कहाँ पे दे रहे हैं हम, वेयर द सेल इज गेटिंग मेड, वेयर द टाइटल पेपर्स आर गेटिंग डिपॉजिट, नॉट वेयर द प्रॉपर्टी इज, बट वेयर द प्रॉपर्टी मॉर्गेज इज टेकिंग. ठीक है, सपोज एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं, पंजाब में टीपीए डज नॉट अप्लाई. पंजाब में टीपीए डज नॉट अप्लाई. माई प्रॉपर्टी इज इन पंजाब. आई एम लिविंग इन मुंबई. So I want to take a loan from the property that is in on my property that is in Punjab. I am living in Mumbai. पंजाब पे टीपे नहीं लगता है. पंजाब में मॉर्गेज इक्विटेबल सेल नहीं होती है, इक्विटेबल मॉर्गेज नहीं होती है. नाउ आई वांट टू टेक लोन इन मुंबई. कैन आई टेक लोन ऑन पंजाब प्रॉपर्टी इन मुंबई बाय डिपॉजिटिंग टाइटल डीड? कैन आई टेक लोन इन मुंबई? मुंबई में इक्विटेबल डीड्स, इक्विटेबल मॉर्गेज इज अलाउड. पंजाब में इट इज नॉट अलाउड. Can I take loan in Mumbai over the property that is in Punjab by depositing my title deed? Answer please. Answer please. My property is in Punjab. I want to take loan on that property in Mumbai. In Punjab, equitable mortgage is not allowed. In Mumbai, equitable mortgage is allowed. Okay? Can I take loan in Mumbai from property of Punjab? Yes. Why? Because जहां से हम लोन ले रहे हैं उसका लॉ लगेगा. From where I'm taking the loan, that state law will apply, not where the property is situated. I cannot take loan by depositing my title deed of property, whether the property is in Punjab or Mumbai or anywhere else in India. I cannot take loan in Punjab. Okay, but I can take loan in Mumbai because Mumbai state में equitable deed is allowed. So the property position is not seen, the loan taking position is seen, area is seen, state is seen. ठीक है, एक्चुअली ये जो वर्ड है ना स्पेसिफिकली कि नोटिफाइड टाउन्स, ये आता है जगह जगह, एंड दैट इज व्हाई पीपल गेट कंफ्यूज्ड. ठीक है, दिस स्पेसिफिक नोटिफाइड टाउन्स वर्ड इज गेट यूज्ड. सो इन सम एरियाज टीपीए डू नॉट अप्लाई. अभी वेयर इट डज नॉट अप्लाई आई कैन नॉट गिव यू एन एग्जांपल, बट आई कैन नॉट गिव यू इन दैट डिटेल, यू आर नॉट लॉयर्स. नेक्स्ट, क्रिएशन. नाउ यूनिट 14, विच स्टेटमेंट इज, अच्छा इसमें ना एक पॉइंट और है, एप्रोप्रिएशन. Appropriation, priority, set off, lien. These are the 4 topics जिसको आपको रीड करना है. You have to read these out from again the notes that I have already given to you. ठीक है. Now, which of the following statements is correct about floating charge? Now there are 2 types of charge: floating charge, and fixed charge. And there is another term, crystallization. of charge. Who will tell me what these are? Who will tell me what these are? Who will tell me what is the floating charge, what is fixed charge, and what is crystallization of charge? देखो, फ्लोटिंग चार्ज मीन्स, देखो चार्ज क्या होता है? एक प्रॉपर्टी पे लोन, लोन ऑन सम प्रॉपर्टी, loan on some property. Yeah. When I have taken a loan on some asset of mine, which does not change. For example, I have taken loan on my plant, my building, my machinery, my property. ठीक है? They are not changing. Property बढ़ रही है, घट रही है, नहीं है. Property is not increasing or decreasing. The plant is not increasing or decreasing. Plant means the plant that is set up to make goods. ठीक है? The machinery is not increasing or decreasing. ठीक है? So when I am taking loan on a fixed property or asset, that is fixed charge. Floating charge means the charge that is created on the property that keeps on changing. Example, I have taken loan on the stock of my company. Stock जो है stagnant नहीं रहता. Stock gets, if the stock is going to be stagnant, that is company is not selling things. And अगर कंपनी सेल ही नहीं कर रही है तो बैंक टेंशन में कि हमारे पैसे कैसे वापस आएगा, हाउ विल दे गेट द मनी बैक. So floating charge, what happens in floating charge is we take loan on a property that keeps on increasing or decreasing. For example, stock. For example, the company's goods. ठीक है, अभी गुड्स बढ़ रहा है और घट रहा है. नाउ माय प्रॉपर्टी, द सिक्योरिटी इज इंक्रीजिंग एंड डिक्रीजिंग. व्हेन द चार्ज इज ऑन अ प्रॉपर्टी व्हिच इज इंक्रीजिंग एंड डिक्रीजिंग, इट इज फ्लोटिंग चार्ज. फ्लोटिंग चार्ज गेट फिक्स्ड. Floating charge become fixed. That process is known as crystallization. When will floating charge become fixed? When the company goes out of business, when the company becomes insolvent, when the order of the court comes that the company should be dissolved now. Okay? Now, the answer is, which of the following statement is correct about floating charge? That it hovers over a set until crystallization. Yes, it does. Hovers means कि it changes upon the asset. It is on the asset and it is changing till the crystallization happens. B is the correct answer. Next question. What is satisfaction of charge? I've already explained this to you. That is repayment of charge. Repayment, आप payment वापस कर रहे हो. A, we have completed 2 units, 2 modules. If anybody wants to ask me anything in module A or B, please go ahead, write that in the chat section. Any doubt in module A or B? Module C carries 30 to 35 marks. Module C say you'll get around 30 to 35 marks questions. So again, this particular unit is important. If you have any doubt, please write that in the chat section. Otherwise, let's start with the module. If you want me to give you a 10 minutes break here, you can write that in the chat section as well. You want a break of 10 minutes? Moving forward, nobody has replied. We have RBI integrated ombudsman scheme. Very important from the point of view where you will get question ki RBI integrated scheme aaya kab. It came on 12th of November 2021. By mixing, by combining, by integrating 3 already existing ombudsman schemes of bank, NBFC and digital transactions. What is the process to go to ombudsman? पहले हम ombudsman के पास जाते हैं. How? कैसे जाते हैं हम? First we reach out to the bank. Bank में भी किसके पास? To the frontline officer. Frontline officer. This frontline officer will ask us to reach out to the branch manager. This frontline officer and branch manager have 7 days to resolve our case. 7 days to resolve our situation. let's do one thing, mathematics for 10. I'll give you a break at 9. Okay, you can have a dinner break at 9. I'll give you a 15 minutes break. Till then, let's understand a few topics. Okay. Now 7 days ka we give a break. 7 days mein this branch manager has to give a reply. If this branch manager cannot give a reply within 7 days, he has to transfer your case to the regional office. To the regional office, he has to transfer the case. Regional office can take the help of head office, and everybody, this whole process should be done away within 30 days. This process should be done away within 30 days. 30 days mein bank has to reply to the customer. Bank has to reply to customer within 30 days. Within 30 days. If the bank does not reply within 30 days, customer can go to ombudsman within 1 year. Ombudsman can go to the ombudsman within 1 year. His cause of action will arise if there is no reply within 30 days, or a reply has come to the customer within these 30 days and the customer is not satisfied with that reply or with that solution. Customer has, from that date of reply of not unsatisfaction, he has 1 year. And if no reply comes after this 30 days ends, he has 1 year to reach out to whom? To ombudsman. Ombudsman के पास कैसे डालेंगे हम complaint? Ombudsman के पास you can give the complaint via CRPC. You can either send the complaint via post, or you can send them an email, a message. You can email is preferred over posts, but you can give it in both electronic or physical form. This CRPC will look into your complaint. If this complaint is a complaint in nature, genuine complaint hai, if it is a complaint, this CRPC will allocate you an ombudsman. They'll allocate you an ombudsman. But if it is a suggestion, if it is a query, if it is some thing that the CRPC thinks is not correct, they'll reject your complaint and give you a notification of the same. This CRPC, that is Control Receipt Processing Center, will allocate your an ombudsman. This ombudsman will ask the regulated entity, the bank, the NBFC, that what is your explanation over it? Kyun aaya case? Why did the case come to yours? RE has 15 days to revert. RE has 15 days to reply to the ombudsman ki what did they do, what is the stand they are taking, are they considering themselves as guilty, what is their point of view. So they'll write, RE will give them a WS. If RE does not reply to the ombudsman within 15 days, ombudsman can pass an ex parte order. Ex parte order means that the ombudsman will not listen to RE now, and whatever the customer is saying, ombudsman can do give the relief as per the customer's wants. And RE's right to appeal will be taken away as well. If RE does not reply, there can be an ex parte order, and RE cannot appeal to the appellate authority as well. Appellate authority कौन है? Appellate authority is the person, director. There is a person appellate authority के नाम से. He is from a person of RBI. He is what the name of this appellate authority you have to remember. अब RE क्या करेगी? How will ombudsman solve the case? First, he'll do facilitation. He'll facilitate. He'll do facilitation. That is, he'll make both the parties sit down. He'll tell them, talk it out. If the parties do not facilitate, if they are not happy, they are not communicating to each other, the next step is conciliation. Conciliation or mediation. That is, ombudsman will hire an outsider for the parties to tell their issues to the conciliator or mediator and get the matter solved. If there is no solution by using this method as well, ombudsman will pass an order whatever he deems fit. Ombudsman will pass an order deems fit. अगर facilitation काम नहीं हुआ तो हम conciliation पे जाएंगे. अगर conciliation नहीं हुआ, then we'll go to ombudsman. This ombudsman, whatever ombudsman is passing the order, the customer has to accept the award. If the customer does not accept the award within 30 days, that award will be deemed rejected. This acceptance should always be in a writing. This acceptance should always be in writing. If the customer accepts this, the bank can go into appeal. If the customer does not accept this within 30 days, the customer can go into appeal to the appellate authority within 30 days. तो customer के पास कितने दिन है? 30 days है. And if he does not reply within 30 days, he has extra 30 days to appeal. If he does reply within 30 days, bank has 30 days to go into appeal. Is the criteria, the whole chart of RBI Ombudsman clear to everybody? Is this clear? Is this clear? Question number 1. अच्छा, award कितना दे सकता है? How much award can ombudsman give? It is 20 lakhs for consequential damage. And there is no fixed amount कि जितना damage हुआ है वो तो देना ही पड़ेगा. Actual loss, full amount. Consequential damage के लिए up to 20 lakh rupees. And for mental harassment, 1 lakh rupees. But this amount will change from 1st of July 2026. The amount for consequential damage can be up to 30 lakh rupees, and for mental agony it is 3 lakh rupees. Now what will you write in the exam? If the question comes that what is the amount of compensation an integrated ombudsman can give, it is 20 lakhs plus 1 lakh for mental anguish. But if the question gets asked to you in the exam that what is the amount, suppose they give you a situation and the ombudsman order comes after 1st of July, उन्होंने डेट स्पेसिफिकली लिखी है, ठीक है, 1st of July के बाद का ऑर्डर है और दे आस्क यू व्हाट इज द न्यू रूल, इट इज 30 lakhs plus 3 lakhs for mental anguish. But if there is nothing written कि क्या है क्या नहीं है, they just normally ask you what is the compensation, the answer will be 20 lakhs plus 1 lakh. Question number 1 is on the screen. Question number 1 is on the screen. Angie, please give me reply. Give me reply. Statement number 1 is correct. No, up to 20 lakh is the allowed amount. Yeah, ombudsman. Can an ombudsman go against RBI? No, no, he cannot. So statement number 5 is incorrect. That will give us 1, 3, 4. D is the correct answer. Next question. देखो. Very good, Raja ji. Very, very good. No, Matthew ji. D was the correct answer. देखो, the complaint concerning the outstanding contract. अब आप ombudsman के पास the ombudsman, only a complainant, only the customer can go. Customer versus regulated entity. A dispute between bank and its vendor cannot happen. It is always customer versus RE. The complainant received the reply from the RE 45 days after filing. 30 days rule है, but they took extra 15 days. The RE took extra 15 days. 30 days rule hai, but they took extra 15 days. The complaint can be filed after 1 year and 15 days. अगर आर ही 15 दिन एक्स्ट्रा ले रहा है, इफ आर इज टेकिंग एक्स्ट्रा 15 days, extra 15 days will be given to the complainant. If R is taking extra 30 days, extra 30 days will be given to the complainant. Why? Because I gave you a timeline here in our normal class, and if you want to understand this in detail, go and watch that class. अदरवाइज एक्स्ट्रा टाइम इसको मिल रहा है, आर को मिल रहा है, तो एक्स्ट्रा टाइम कस्टमर को मिलेगा. जितने दिन एक्स को एक्स्ट्रा मिल रहा है उतने एग्जैक्टली इस आर कंप्लेनेंट को मिलेंगे. हम वट एवर एक्स्ट्रा डेज आर इज गेटिंग टेकिंग, the exact extra days will be given to complainant to file a complaint to ombudsman. Statement number 2 is correct. Acha, one more thing. A person who is an advocate cannot represent you in front of an ombudsman. He cannot represent you as an to the ombudsman. Here, everything except one is. So this is non-maintainable, है ना? This is non-maintainable. ये maintainable है. मतलब हमें बताना है non-maintainable क्या है. We have to tell what is non-maintainable. This is maintainable. Matter is already in court, so this is non-maintainable. अगर आप already court के पास है, you will not go to ombudsman. If you are a lawyer, it is non-maintainable. If it is submitted by a lawyer, such complaint will be not maintainable. The complaint is outside the RBI purview. It is non-maintainable. क्या क्या non-maintainable है? 1, 3, 4 and 5 are non-maintainable. That will give us B as the correct answer. Very good, Nagaji. Very good mathematics for 10th. Now we have MSME. Micro, small and medium enterprise. There is a turnover limit. There is a turnover limit, 2.5 investment and 10 CR, 2.5 CR investment, 10 CR turnover, 25 CR investment and 100 CR turnover. 100 CR turnover. And for medium it is 125 CR and 500 CR turnover. This is investment, this is turnover, this is investment, this is turnover, this is investment, this is turnover. इसके बेसिस पे हम क्लासिफाई करेंगे. ऑन दिस बेसिस विल क्लासिफाई इज एन एंटरप्राइज मीडियम, माइक्रो और स्मॉल. नाउ देयर इज अ कॉम्पोजिशन. देयर आर 3 types of bodies under MSME. First is the body of MSME, National Board of MSME. Composition of that is important. Then Advisory Board of MSME, a composition of that is important. And a Council of MSME, a composition of that is also important. 3 slides, particularly from the PDFs, you have to ratify, you have to learn. It is a mandate कि आप learn करोगे, वरना you will not be able to attempt the questions from MSME. Yes sir, one is not maintainable. अच्छा ML लिख दिया. NM नॉन मेंटेनेबल, नॉन मेंटेनेबल, मेंटेनेबल, सभी नॉन मेंटेनेबल तो मेंशन किया है ना. B is the correct answer. चलो, क्वेश्चन नंबर 3 is on the screen. Statement number 1 is correct, 2 is not correct, 3 is correct, 4 is incorrect, 5 is correct. Why? See, there is no fixed number कि सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट से इतने ही जने हैं. The composition is 5 from the central government, 3 from the state government and 1 each from MSME, one each from MSME Association. A total of 11 members. There is no fixed rule. ऐसा कोई fix नहीं है, तो statement number 2 is incorrect. Statement number 4 is incorrect because advisory role plays no role. अगर advisory committee का has the advisory committee does not have any role, then why are they there? If they are not going to advise, what are they going to do? Play chess. Fourth statement is incorrect. Now, next question. Anil ji. See. Why statement number 4 is correct and why statement number 2 is incorrect? You can see. Okay? So it is A. A is the correct answer. The maximum credit period that can be agreed in writing by buyer and supplier is 45 days. Yes, MSME can give loan up to 45 days only. Above 45 days, whatever the situation may be, will not be allowed. Statement number 2 is incorrect. If the contract allows longer term of credit, the buyer cannot delay payment beyond 60 days. There is no such rule. 45 days is the rule. चाहे आप कितना भी agree कर लो, whatever the rule may be. Even if you and I agree to give you 5 months, 6 months, 3 months, 2 months, that rule will not apply. 45 days is what law says. 45 days credit is what a buyer can take. Statement number 2 is incorrect. Statement number 3 is also incorrect because in the case of delayed payment, the buyer must pay simple interest of 2%. No, it is not simple. The interest rate is not simple at 2%. It is compound interest at 3 times the bank rate. Question number 3 is incorrect. 4 and 5 are correct. That will give us 145. C is the correct answer. Next question. C. The Facilitation Council, the FSC, comprises of 3 to 5 members from various groups. 3 to 5 members from various groups. Okay? Selection from various groups. So statement number 1 is incorrect. Statement number 2 is correct, 3 is correct, 4 is correct, but 5 is also not correct. Why? The court can entertain the appeal against council award without requiring a deposit. The deposit requirement is 75%. This can be reduced to 50% if if there is a need shown. 75% is the amount here. अब आप सोच रहे होगे that 75% should be illegal. 75% तो surface एंड DRT में नहीं है, वो तो 50% है. But under MSME it is 75%. There is no change. Next. A good question is on the screen. ABC Industries, a large manufacturing entity subject to statutory audit, procures raw material from various suppliers, including registered MSE. As of year end, ABC has outstanding payment of 15 lakhs in principal and 2.5 lakhs as interest. देखो, if there is an outstanding payment towards MSME, it is a mandate that you write that this is an outstanding payment. If you don't write that there is some outstanding towards MSME, you will be penalized. There can be penalty up to 10,000 rupees upon you. Okay, 1,000 to 10,000 is the penalty. During the year, 8 lakhs was paid and 40,000 after the appointed day and 40,000 in interest. Additional 1.2 lakh rupees was payable for delayed payment, but this amount does not include interest component. 75% of the interest is accrued and yet to be paid. ABC Limited fails to mention the above. Further, it ignores to submit the information. This is such second violation. ABC needs to disclose all A to D. Yes, it does need to include all A to D. It is important for them to write that in their audit notes. The amount of 1.25 is exempted from disclosure. No, it is not exempted from disclosure. Fine up to 10,000 rupees for second failure. Yes, 1,000 to 10,000 rupees is the amount of penalty. Since ABC, it is a second violation, a minimum of 1,000 to 10,000 rupees. Yes. Disclosure requirement applies only to micro enterprise, not small. This is wrong. It applies to both micro and small. 1, 3, 4 are correct. B is the correct answer. Next, we have SARFACI. Super important. Super important. Let's take a 15 minutes break here. Okay, a 15 minutes break. Have your dinner. We'll come back. I will meet at 9:10 p.m. We'll meet at 9:10. Till then, you take a dinner, have some rest, we'll contempt the questions of SARFACI. Then remaining part of C&D. We'll be completing our class maximum by 11. Okay? Chale. Let's take a break. start with surface. ठीक है, units 17, 18 together, 5 to 7 marks. Unit 19, that is IBC, 3 to 4 marks. ठीक है, major area ये 5 to 7 का even 5 to 10 can happen depending की exam how the examiner is thinking, what is the examiner want you to know. ठीक है, minimum 5, maximum 7, because what happens is surface and DRT they go hand in hand. Suppose a question comes to you in the exam कि the person this क्या नाम है, there is a person, he has filed the case under DRT. He has filed the case under DRT. Now surface has come and he wants to go under surface. Is it a requirement that he withdraws the case from DRT first and then follow surface? The answer is no. Surface is retrospective in nature, that is surface will apply to loans that were before 2002 as well. Okay, the answer here will be that DRT and surface go hand in hand. If a bank wants to apply surface, he does not need to withdraw the case from DRT first. He can make the case go under DRT and even follow the provisions of surface together. So there is no need to withdraw the case first. Withdraw case means पहले हटाएंगे DRT Act के अंदर से and then we'll go under surface. That first will remove the case, will take out the case from the DRT and then we'll go under surface Act. There is no such need. They both go parallelly. They go hand in hand. Okay. Now, what is surface? Surface is securitization and reconstruction of security interest. Reconstruction of financial assets. What does this mean? What does this mean? See, there is a process. Surface says that if bank has given a loan and a security interest has been created, and that security interest, this charge is registered with CERSAI, that is Central Registry of Charges. If you have done that, you can take the possession of the property after declaring it NPA. The rule that we follow under surface is that if an account becomes NPA, that is if there is no payment for 90 days, there is no payment for 3 months, 90 days कहेंगे, 90 days if there is no EMI paid, the account will be declared NPA. If an account is declared NPA, the bank has a right to send a notice to the borrower. Notice of 60 days must be sent to the borrower stating that we are going to take possession of your property. Yes, Krishan ji. Hello. See, please do not raise hand. If you want to ask anything, write that in the chat section. If you're not able to write that down, send me an audio on WhatsApp. I'll listen to you there. Right now, I am going with the flow. It disrupts the flow. If you want to ask anything which you're not able to write, you have WhatsApp. You have means of WhatsApp, right? I'll write my WhatsApp number in the chat section. You can reach out to me in there. Okay? Otherwise, write your doubt in the chat section. That will be amazing. So that others can know if there is some important point. Now, so you will send 60 days notice to the borrower that we are going to take away the possession of your property. The borrower, within these 60 days, the borrower will, if borrower comes to you and they say ki nahi, please give me more time, etc, etc. Sorry, you will give a 60 days notice to the borrower that if you do not make the payment to us, we'll take your possession. We'll not take directly possession. कितनी बोलेंगे? We कहेंगे either make the payment, full payment to us, or we'll take the possession. Okay. Now, if the borrower comes to you, they say कि नहीं, please give us extra time, मेरे को थोड़ा सा time दो, they request you, etc. Is it mandatory for bank to entertain that request? No. It is a choice of the bank to revert back to the customer. If suppose to revert back to accept the request of the customer or not. Suppose the customer within the 60 days, customer reaches out to you, ki please give me extra time. The day customer reaches out, the bank has 15 days. From that day, bank has 15 days to revert back to the customer, stating whether they are going to accept the request of the customer or not. If the bank accepts the request of the customer, amazing. If the bank does not accept the request of the customer, can the customer go to DRT or court stating ki please bank ko meri sune, that please ask the bank to listen to me? No. Or can he file for injunction? No. It is the choice of the bank whether they want to listen to the customer or not. After the expiry of these 60 days, and if no payment is made to the bank of the loan, bank has the right to take the possession of the property. Can bank take the possession of the property directly? No. They will ask with the help of DM or CMM. Bank will send a notice, an application to DM or CMM that we need your help to apply to take the possession of a property. This application of the bank is to be replied by CMM or DM within 30 days. That is, DM or CMM के पास 30 days है to reply to the bank whether how will they help the bank or not. How are they going to help the bank? This CMM and DM will help the bank to take the possession of the property. Now, if the property possession is taken from you, can you now go to DRT? Yes, you can go to DRT within 45 days of the bank taking possession of your property. The customer has 45 days, the borrower has 45 days to reach to DRT. The order of DRT, if comes in the favor of the customer, the bank has to relinquish the possession. Otherwise, the bank can do whatever. The bank can whatever they deem fit. Okay. If the customer does not file the case with the DRT within 45 days, choice of customer. Bank, if wants to proceed with the sale of the property, if the bank wants to sell the property, bank has to give a 14 days notice to the customer that we are going to sell the property. Okay. I hope things are clear to you. I hope SARFAESI का concept clear है, and I hope you have heard the SARFAESI class in detail. Now SARFAESI is too big for me to explain. We do not have that much time. We have limited time on our end. So I'm not going to go in detail about ARs and everything because everything has been explained in detail, very much detail. But the point that you have to remember is that for going under SARFAESI, the loan should be above 1 lakh rupees, and the amount due, that the amount that is supposed due, that out of the total amount, 20% should be unpaid. Minimum 20% of principal plus interest plus minimum 1 lakh rupees. अब ये क्या concept है, already explained है. This is important and the loan should be registered with SARSAI. ठीक है, चलो. There is ARC. The net on funds of ARC currently is 300 crore. What is ARC? What are QBs? Everything we have done. Identify the statement. What is correct? What happened in Merdial Chemical Limited explained. To go into appeal from DRT to DRAT, the minimum requirement is 50% and it can also be reduced to 25%. So statement number 2 is incorrect. Statement number 2 is incorrect. $1 lakh plus minimum 20% of total due. Principal plus interest. 1, 3 and 4 are correct. B is the correct answer. Question number 8 is on the screen. Statement number 1 is correct. Statement number 2 is incorrect. Why? Because the hypothecation was never defined. In SARFAESI, hypothecation got defined first time. So statement number 2 is incorrect. Statement number 3 is correct. Statement number 4 is incorrect because the originator and originator in the context of asset reconstruction refers to asset reconstruction company acquiring financial assets. Originator means the person who started up with the loan, the person who gave the loan first. It can be either bank or an FI. Originate kar raha hai, the one who is originating the loan, who is giving the loan, the first loan giver, is the bank or FI, not the ARC. ARC is the acquirer of the loan. Okay, they are the one who are acquiring the loan. They are the one who are reconstructing the loan. Okay, statement number 4 and 2 are incorrect. 1, 3, 5 is correct. C is the correct answer. Next question. Which of the following are correct? 1 is incorrect. Why? Because only financial institutions and insurance company can be QBs. No. QBs can be one ARC for another ARC. They can be banks. They can be FIs. They can be SEBI. They can be mutual fund holders. They can be company registered under SEBI. It can be anybody, but not individual. So statement number 1 is incorrect. Statement number 2 is correct. 3 is correct. 4 is incorrect because security receipt issued by ARC is transferable. It is more like shares. Okay. So statement number 4 is incorrect. That will give us a D as the correct answer. Next question. I've gotten a good amount of questions from this specific unit, so we can focus properly on module C, unit 17. Statement number 1 is correct. Dekho. It wants to convert to ARC. Determine whether it is compliant or not. The question is compliant hai ya nahi hai. What is compliant or not? They have losses for 2020 and 2021, but for continuous 4 years they have profits. So can they be ARC? Yes, they can be an ARC. They are compliant. It proposes to register of change register office, but do not approve RBI approval. This is non-compliant. Sponsor is convicted of financial fraud. Non-compliant. If you are a person who is a bad motive, who has bad moral turpitude, has done tax fraud, has lost the office because he is doing frauds, okay, so you are not a person compliant enough to be an ARC director. So moral turpitude, non-compliant. C is compliant because QB se we can take money. So what all are non-compliant? It is 2, 3 and 5. That will give us 2, 3 and 5 are non-compliance. 1 and 4 are compliant. We have to tell compliant. C is the correct answer. Next. Question number 11. Statement number 1 is incorrect. Why? Individuals cannot be QBs. Retail investors cannot be QBs. Security receipts can be issued by retail investors who meet minimum literacy. Retail investors, individuals are barred from applying to be an QB. Statement number 1 is incorrect. Statement number 2 is correct. 3 is correct. 4 is incorrect because 75% buyers, 75% QBs can ask for a meeting, not 60. So statement number 4 is incorrect. 1 and 4 are incorrect. 2, 3, 5 is correct. P is the correct answer. Next question. First is correct. Income recognition provisions are there. Second is incorrect. Why? Because RBI may audit ARC but not remove director. It can remove director if they are acting against public interest. Borrowers are mandatory parties to arbitration. No, they are not. Borrowers are not mandatory parties. What is 5 correct? 1, 5 and 5 are correct. C is the correct answer. Next question. A possession notice must be affixed in the conspicuous place. Yes, conspicuous means a place visible. Visible place. Visible place. The borrower must be given a 7 days notice before sale of the property. It is a 30 days notice before sale. 30 days notice. Statement number 2 is incorrect. Reserve price must be fixed. Yes, it must be fixed. Notice of sale should be published in 2 leading paper. Yes. One out of which one is local vernacular, local language. If price is offered less than reserve price, the sale can proceed without borrower's consent. No. What is reserve price? देखो, आपने मेरे से लोन लिया, ठीक है? You took a loan from me. I'm a bank. You took a loan from me. Now I'm moving towards selling your property because you have not repaid it. Okay, you have taken a loan of 5 lakh rupees. The property is worth 7 lakh rupees. I am telling you that I'm going to sell your property. So you say, okay, sell karke, you take your money back and give me my money back, but do not sell it for less than 7 lakh rupees. 7 lakh rupees is the reserve price. 7 lakh rupees is the reserve price. If a reserve price has been settled, the bank has to sell it for more than that only. If a price less than reserve price comes or get offered, okay, the bank has to take special permission from the borrower because the property is of the borrower. You cannot, just because you want to take the money of yours, does not harm the right of the borrower to sell the property in the market. Okay, so if you are getting less than the reserved price, you have to take borrower's consent. That makes statement number 2 and 5 as incorrect. A is the correct answer. Next question. You do not need to take any permission under SURFACI from the tribunal. SURFACI says no need to go to court, no need to go to DRT. Take the possession if you are not getting the money back. Statement number 2 is incorrect. 3 is correct. 4 is incorrect. Any action can be challenged. No, it cannot be challenged. Why? Because law is giving them power to take away the possession. You cannot question that. 5 is correct. 1, 3 and 5 are correct. B is the correct answer. 15th question. 1 is correct. 2 is not correct. Once intimation of satisfaction is received, the central register is mandated to wait for 7 days. The moment you register the satisfaction needs to be registered. You don't wait for 30 days. 1 and 3 are correct. B is the correct answer. Next question. A big question is this. This is a very big question, so you have to read it properly. ABC Limited avails a loan of 10 CR from bank secured by mortgage. After defaulting for 180 days, the bank classified it as 189 NPA. 90 days may kar sakte the, but they waited for 180 days. The managing director deliberately prevent the authorized officer from taking symbolic possession. The MD say of ABC ke wo lene nahi de rahe, possession nahi de rahe. They are not letting the bank take possession. This is wrong of the MD. The company's legal advisor filed multiple frivolous petition, fake, vexatious, jhooty, to stall the proceeding despite knowing them to be non-maintainable. So you are wasting the time of court. This is wrong. The third-party consultant on behalf of ABC advised physical obstruction of auction. Physical obstruction means jaake wahan pe you do tod-fod, you do violence there, so that people do not opt for your property. People do not go for your buying your property. The bank, however, did not issue a 60 days mandatory notice for taking possession. This is wrong. This is wrong of the bank. XYZ securitization company has bought the asset from the bank, failed to register the transaction as per prescribed rule. Which of the following statements are correct? Only actions taken by the borrower directly are punished. It can be indirect actions as well. Direct or indirect, or it doesn't matter. This is wrong. You cannot obstruct the possession sale. Filing the frivolous petition may amount to abetment. Yes, it may amount to abetment. It is doing wrong to the parties. It is misusing the rights. Third parties are also punishable. Yes, they are, because they are giving wrong suggestion. This is also abetment. Contravention of XYZ of not registering the transaction attracts punishment. See, transferring needs to be registered. If you do not register it, it is you can be penalized for the same. The secured creditor is also liable for not serving the mandatory notice. See, 60 days notice is mandatory. Failure to do so is a procedural lapse. It doesn't mean that you will be sent to jail. It doesn't mean that you will be sent to jail. So 29 में you are said going, you are being penalized. Penalization नहीं होगी. If you are not following the law, if you are going against the law, आपको will be paying some penalties. You will not be facing the punishment, and bank will not face the punishment. ठीक है. So statement number 5 is incorrect. That will give us a D as the correct answer. Next we have is recovery of debt due to banks. Any doubt in surface? Anybody wants to ask anything in surface? चलिए, this is recovery of debt due to banks and financial institutions. The name was Recovery of Debt Due to Banks and Financial Institution 1993, but the act name got changed in 2016 to Recovery of Debt and Bankruptcy Act. Why? Because in 2016 came the IBC, that is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code talks about the insolvency of individuals and corporates, but it says that NCLT will deal with the corporate insolvency and DRT will deal with the insolvency of an individual. That is why we have had to change the name from recovery of the debt due to banks and financial institutions and have to mention the bankruptcy part here. Okay, this is why we made the changes. IBC, that is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code came. DRT mein, when you can go to DRT, when the loan amount is above, when the amount that is in question is above 20 lakh rupees. If the amount is above 20 lakh rupees, don't go to tribunals, don't go to court, rather go to DRT. This DRT, the making of DRT got questioned in the case of Delhi High Court Bar Association versus Union of India, where Delhi High Court said that this specific act is unconstitutional in nature. This act is unconstitutional in nature. Then the court, why is it unconstitutional? Because this act is taking away the rights of court to deal with money matter. Then the matter went to Supreme Court and the Supreme Court said that the Parliament has a right to make laws for special areas like bank, and DRT tribunal is this debt recovery tribunal is for specific bank purpose, because banks are the financial regulators of the market and special provisions can be made for them because they come in special area. Supreme Court overruled the ruling of Delhi High Court in the case of Union of India versus Delhi Bar High Court Association. This case again has been dealt in detail in the classes. In yesterday's morning class as well, we have talked about this. Now, अब DRT में होता क्या, that above 20 lakh you can go to DRT, you can get the matter solved there. Bank can only go to DRT. If customer is not paying, bank will file the customer case against the person. So it is always bank as the plaintiff and customer as the defendant. Defendant कौन होगा? Customer, the borrower. ठीक है? It is always bank who will file the case against the customer, not the customer against the bank, if it is regarding money taking by the bank. But can customer go to file the case against bank? Yes, under SARFAESI customer can, but under DRT Act customer cannot. Okay. Now, insolvency of individuals and partnership is dealt where? Under this specific act. Now, DRT से appeal जाती है DRAT पे, and we have done everything in detail. Let's attempt the question number 1. Question number 17 is on the screen. The amount has been changed. We know that it is 20 lakh and above. Statement number 1 is incorrect. Statement number 2 is correct. Statement number 3 is not correct. Why? The recovery officer is responsible for adjudicating. Recovery officer is not the court. Adjudicating powers are just with the court or tribunal. Statement number 3 is incorrect. 4 and 5 are correct. That will give us D as the correct answer. Next question. Acha, DRT and DRAT composition is DRT is headed by one single person, that is the presiding officer. His tenure is 5 years until the age of 65. He has to be of the qualification of a district judge. For DRAT, the head is chairperson. It is again a one-person rule. He can have an office for 5 years till the age of 70, and he should have at least an experience as a high court judge or a presiding officer for 3 years or a member of Indian Legal Association for 3 years. Okay. Now, read question number 18. Question number 18. Mr. Y has recently appointed as the chairperson of DRAT. The official notification regarding his appointment was published. The government later issued another notification authorizing Mr. Y to act as chairperson of another DRT in neighboring jurisdiction. Can Mr. Y be a chairperson of 2 DRATs? Yes, he can be. Mr. Y, aged 67, had served as PO of tribunal for 4 years. Okay, and has been a member of Indian Legal Services for 2 years. That is, he is acting as a person in the law for almost 6 years. Minimum requirement is 3 years. He is acting as an officer of law for 6 years. After his appointment, PIL got challenged regarding the legality of his dual responsibility. What all are correct? Mr. Y can act as a chairperson of 2 tribunals simultaneously. Yes. Mr. Y do not meet the qualification of 3 years legal services. No, he has 6 years. 4 years plus 2 years. 3 years individually dekhte hain. Total he has 6 years. That is wrong. His prior 4 year services as PO qualifies him to be a chairperson. Yes. He can continue to the office of 70. Yes. PIL challenging the dual charge may fail. Yes, it may. Yes, it may. So everything except 2 is correct. A is the correct answer. A is the correct answer. Next question. A recovery certificate was issued by PO for 3.5 CR. MNP later discovered the computational error in the certificate, which inflated the debt amount to 50 lakh rupees. They filed an application for review. Simultaneously, the PO who issued the certificate was transferred and a new PO came. Meanwhile, the recovery officer initiated the attachment. Which of the following statements are valid? MNP Limited can seek review and certificate only on a clear error apparent on the face of record. C. Yes, this is a clear apparent error and this review is allowed. Recovery officer has no authority to amend or alternate the certificate. Yes, because he is not the adjudicating authority. He is the person who is helping the court out. He is not the ruler of the court. He is not the ruler of the tribunal. So statement number 2 is correct. He cannot alter the certificate. Application of review must be filed within 60 days. Yes, it must be. The recovery officer must hold the proceedings until the review application of the tribunal is solved. No, you will not solve the recovery officer. Kaun hai? Who is the recovery officer? Recovery officer, like what happens is DRT ne order kara. DRT gave the order. Recovery officer is appointed. He acts as the person who will follow the order of DRT. He will be going to the customer and will asking him ki give the money. If the customer does not give the money, the recovery officer can attach the property of the customer and sell it to get the money of the bank. Recovery officer is not the adjudicating authority. He is the worker of the court. He is the staff of the court, not the ruler of the court, not the ruler of the tribunal. He will not stop until the tribunal says him to. Just because he knew कि एक review petition गई हुई है, जब तक review petition पे कोई officer order नहीं करेगा, until and unless the tribunal orders a change in the certificate, recovery officer will not stop. Statement number 4 is incorrect. A is the correct answer. Next question. Please read the question. In Murdia case na, Murdia Chemical and this Delhi High Court case, what got discussed is, what used to happen was कि अगर आपको अपील में जाना ना, if you want to go into appeal from DRT to DRAT, you have to submit 75% of the deposit amount. जितना ऑर्डर हुआ है उसका 75% you have to deposit. Supreme Court said this is wrong. It is a harshness. It is an obligation upon the depositor to pay 75% at a time to just to go in appeal. And this amount got reduced to from 75% to 50%. And if the tribunal thinks fit, it can also reduce it to 25%. Okay. So if you want to go in appeal, minimum 50% to deposit, and it can be reduced to 25 if the customer shows hardship. Question number 20 is on the screen. Statement number 1 is correct, 2 is correct, 3 is correct, but 4 is not correct. Why? See, Z may simultaneously fight a writ petition in High Court. See, either you can go to the DRT or you can go to High Court. ऐसे दोनों जगह you cannot put your hands. You cannot go just because there is a law. You can do whatever you want to is not allowed. Statement number 4 is incorrect. Statement number 5 is also incorrect because tribunal can waive off the ground of financial hardship. No. Minimum 25 तो देना ही पड़ेगा. Deposit of 25% minimum is important. See, the law is 50%. But can be reduced to 25% in the case of financial hardship. Can you say कि 0% deposit can be taken for appeal? No. Minimum तो 25 देना ही पड़ेगा appeal में जाने के लिए. You have to give 25%. Whatever the situation may be. 1, 3 and 1, 2 and 3 are correct. That will give us C as the correct answer. Now we have insolvency and bankruptcy code. Isme, the point that you have to focus is CAIIB, FIRP, PPIRP. Very important. The process of CAIIB is very, very important. We have discussed this in details quite many times. Okay, I'm not going to discuss it again. आपको नहीं आ रहा है, go and watch the video. If you do not understand, go and watch the video. Go and read the notes. I am not going to explain because again we do not have much time. We have a lot of content in module D. Question is on the screen. See, it is a very good question. We need to read this question very clearly, because there are two types of creditors under IBC. Creditor means the person who has given the loan. The one who has given money is the financial creditor, and the one who has given goods and service on credit is the operational creditor. The one where we have given money, पैसे के बारे में बात हो रही है, we are talking about the money. It is that such person who has given money as a loan to you, that person is financial creditor. The person who has given you goods and services is an operational creditor. Okay? Government is also an operational creditor. Now, 30 crore raised through the issuance of non-convertible debentures. Non-convertible debenture किसमें हुआ? Cash में हुआ. It is in money. So, this is a financial, they are financial creditors. 10 crores collected from a lottie in residential plot. Cash liya again, financial creditor. Steel and cement, operational creditor. Government, operational creditor. Derivative contract from hedge funds of rupees 50 lakh rupees, financial creditors. 3 crores and hire purchase contract of heavy machinery, operational creditor. 2 crores as earnest money, it is again cash, financial creditor. Who all are financial? Who are operational? We have bifurcated that. Now let's read the question. Bank is a secured creditor. We have to tell they are financial creditors. The bank is a financial creditor. Yes. Homeowners have given the money. They are financial creditor. Yes. Steel wala operational creditor hai. Government is operational creditor. Buyer of sale of agreement is financial creditor. We have to tell who all are financial creditors. It is 1, 2, and 5. D is the correct answer. Next, which of the following statements are correct regarding CIRP? Minimum 180 days plus a 90 days extension and a maximum 330 days. The process of CAIIB is that creditor committee hires a resolution professional. This resolution professional comes up with the plan and produce it towards the COC creditor committee. 66% needs to get ready. They want to give another chance to the corporate, or they want to go for resolution? If they want to go to resolution, they tell NCLT, get the order. If they don't want to go for a resolution, they want to resolve, go to NCL, take permission, solve the situation within 1 year. This is the law. This is what CIRP is. 330 days maximum CIRP needs to be completed with. Now, question number 22 is on the screen. Statement number 1 is correct. Statement number 2 is correct, but statement number 3 is not correct. Why? CIRP can be initiated exclusively by financial creditor. It can be operational creditor, it can be corporate debtor, it can be financial creditor, anybody who has given loan to the company, but the majority is 66%. Statement number 3 is incorrect. That will give us A as the correct answer. Next question. Again, exam mera nahi hai. It is not my exam tomorrow, and you all are not giving my reply, which is a bit disappointing. I do not know whether you are able to understand things or not. You are just listening to what I am saying, and this is not how you study for exam. You need to keep on replying, okay, so that it is easier for you to determine at what stage you are at. Okay, if you need to focus on some specific areas, you'll know that we have to work on this area. We have time. We have approximately minimum of 10 hours with you, okay, for revising. And if you think BRBL is easy, no, it is not easy. Those who have studied properly, yes, it is easier for them because they have understood every single subject. But it has an experience of mine. छोटी छोटी गलतियों से आंसर गलत हो जाता है. One statement makes whole answer wrong. So practice is a mandate. That is why we have MCQ class today, right? Statement number 1 is correct, 2 is correct, 3 is not correct. Why? Because statement number 3 is saying if financial creditor files an application, the authority can only appoint an IRP proposed by creditor, not anybody else. No. If the creditor wants to fire a resolution professional, they can among themselves, or they can hire an outsider. NCLT can hire them a person for them as well. Statement number 3 is incorrect. Statement number 4 is correct. 5 is also incorrect. The tenure of IRP continues only till adjudicating authority admits the insolvency application. No, their status continues till there is a insolvency done. Okay, the tenure of IRP does not end on the admission of application. It continues till a resolution professional, a insolvency professional is hired. D is the correct answer. Next question. Next we have is Bankers Book Evidence Act. One, maybe 2 questions from here. क्या होता है इसमें? What happens in this is that all the transactions of bank are important and they are treated as certified copies and they can be produced in evidence. How? With a certificate from the head manager that nobody has altered this. We have done this in detail. Again, if you want to understand things, you have the revision sessions available. Question is on the screen. Which of the following are conditions specifically applicable to computer operated printout evidence? Question number 24. Question number 24. Statement number 1 is correct. Statement number 2 is not correct. Why? Because statement number 2 is saying the system failure recovery mechanism is not relevant in the certificate. If the computer generated data, computers get viruses, computer gets disrupted. If they get disrupted, what will happen? How are we saving the computer? How are we protecting them from not getting hacked? That certificate is important. Why? So that court can know the genuineness of the condition of the certificate of the certified copy. Data stored in USB or clouds are coverable. They are covered under this act. So statement number 4 is also incorrect. 2 and 4 are incorrect. A is the correct answer. Which of the following statements are correct? Very good, Nagaji. Very good. Statement number 1 is incorrect. Certified copies are always final and need no further proof. They can be challenged. They can need further proof. Bank personnels can be called. Statement number 2 is correct. Third is incorrect. Why? If person disputes entries in certified copies, further evidences can be given. The personnel can be called. 4 and 5 are correct. That will give us A as the right answer. Next, LSA, Legal Service Authority Act. इसमें we have तालुका legal services, district legal services, state legal services and national legal services. District and taluka legal services are this composition is done by the state. State की service is made by the state, national की is made by the central government. Okay. What is Lok Adalat? Lok Adalat means people's court up to 20 lakh rupees. What is people court? देखो, we know in India there are a lot of cases and very less of judges. Now, if you want to solve your matter outside court, you can by the way of ADR, that is alternate dispute resolution. Usme there are process of arbitration, conciliation, mediation, and Lok Adalat. Lok Adalat means rather than going to court, rather than putting all of your times and taking 3, 4, 5, 10 years, 20 years to get the case solved, go to Lok Adalat, get the matter solved, make a compromise, and get the solution. ठीक है. अभी लोक अदालत में there are different types of लोक अदालत at different stages so that people can reach out and get the solution done easily. Banks prefer to go to लोक अदालत if they're not registered the charge or the amount is less than 20 lakh rupees and the court can take lot of time, so they can prefer to go to लोक अदालत and get the matter solved, right? Now there are questions that there are from here, maybe 1 or 2 questions that can come, and you have to know the composition of things. Question number 1 is on the screen. From this specific unit, question is on the screen. Statement number 1 is correct. And Lok Adalat can give award up to 20 lakh rupees. Lok Adalat mein award will be passed how? When both the parties have agreed and signed the compromise. Statement number 2 is incorrect. Since no compromise was reached, the civil court can start proceedings afresh. No fresh proceedings. If you have stopped the case in the normal court, you have gone to Lok Adalat, there is no compromise. Can you go back to court? Yes. But will the court proceedings start again? No. They will start where they were left off. So statement number 2 is incorrect. 3 and 4 are correct. 5 is not, because Lok Adalat do not follow evidence law. They follow equity, justice, and good conscience. Next question. Statement number 1 is correct. Why? See, the award passed is deemed as a decree of civil court. Yes, it is. Statement number 2 is incorrect. Why? Because see, Mr. Sharma has right to file the appeal if he has disagreed with the compromise. That is, if he has not agreed to the compromise. Otherwise, if suppose you have consented, okay, you have consented. The जो भी लोक अदालत ने award दिया ना, the award that is passed by the लोक अदालत should be accepted by both the parties. If it is not passed by the parties, it is no award. There is no footing of the award. If you want to go into appeal from the Lok Adalat, you cannot go to appeal. Why? Because no compromise was reached. No compromise matlab no order, and if compromise was reached, that you have agreed to something and now you cannot back out. So if you have agreed, you cannot appeal, and if you are later disagreeing to the compromise, there is no solution. क्यों माना था पहले? Why did you agree first? Statement number 2 is incorrect. Statement number 3 is correct. Can Lok Adalat summon? Yes, it can. Statement number 4 is correct. Statement number 5 is not correct. All the proceedings of Lok Adalat are treated as administrative proceedings, not judicial. Lok Adalat is people's court. कोर्ट में जुडिशियल प्रोसीडिंग्स ही होती है, नॉट एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव प्रोसीडिंग्स. सो स्टेटमेंट नंबर 5 इज इनकरेक्ट. 1, 3, 4 आर करेक्ट. सी इज द करेक्ट आंसर. नाउ वी हैव कस्टमर प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट. Sir, within 1 hour maybe. Within 1 hour. See, we are almost at the end of module C. Maximum by 11:10, 11:15 will be ending. It depends ki how much time we are taking in module D. Since I have done module D in too much detail, will not take much time there. But 1 hour to minimum. Minimum 11, maximum 11:20. CPA में there is protection authority, there is consumer protection authority, there is consumer protection commission, there is consumer protection council. All the three are different. Only the commission is the adjudicative body, others are not. There is a role of advisory body and rule making body, suo motu taking body. Difference between the three bodies is something that you need to remember. Question number 28 is on the screen. Statement number 1. See, statement number 1 is right to information, right? Statement number 2 is right to unfair practice. Statement number 2 is unfair practice, unfair trade practice. Statement number 3 talks about deficiency of service. Statement number 4 talks about right to seek redressal. You can go to court if the services are denied. Statement number 5 is talking about the defect in the product. All the things are correct. D is the correct answer here. Next, a good question. A very good question. What is an unfair contract and what is an unfair trade practice? Okay, we have to tell both. And likha hai, we have to tell both. The membership contract can be terminated. Contract likha hai, so it is an unfair contract. Yes, you cannot terminate because we are not allowing you to. This is unfair contract. Not mentioning that we have AI posture correctors, but not giving that is wrong. This is unfair trade practice. Next is unfair contract because you are taking extra money and even then you're not allowing people to go. This is unfair contract. Next, free accessories you are telling but you are not giving. There is hidden charges. This is unfair trade practice. And you are not giving receipts. This is again unfair trade practice. We have to tell what is unfair contract and practice. All are unfair contract and practice. Specifically पूछेंगे तो 1 and 3 is unfair contract. 2, 4, 5 is unfair trade practice. Last question from this specific area. nature we have 2 more units na yaar, sorry. चले, डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट में अप टू 50 लाख, स्टेट में 50 लाख से 2 करोड़, नेशनल करोड़ में अबव 2 करोड़, अबव 2 CR. Statement number 3 is incorrect. 4 is talking about all commissions. Yes, it is correct. 5 is incorrect because the jurisdiction of district court is determined by the amount of the compensation from the customer. Jurisdiction is based upon the concentration paid, not the compensation claimed. आपने कितना दिया है, what you have paid is that is in question, not how much amount you are asking. मैं तो कुछ भी मांग सकती हूँ. I can ask anything. For me, doing one act is compensable above for more than 10 crore rupees. तो मैं कहीं पे भी चले जाऊंगी. Can I go anywhere? No. It is what I have paid. It is not what I want. So statement number 5 is incorrect. That will give us 1, 4, 2 and 4. C is the correct answer. We have limitation law now. Limitation law talks about that every person can file a case, but the case should be filed within time. I say randomly you cannot file the case because you want to one day, you cannot. The person who sleeps upon his right does not get the right to file the case anytime he wants to. If you are sleeping, you are losing. It is not the mistake of the law. Okay? The one who sleeps does not get the rights performed. Now, limitation law mein, there is 2 points that you need to focus on. There is a timeline. For money cases, you can file the case within 3 years. For what is the difference between period of limitation and prescribed period? For sale cases, sale of a mortgage property, you have 12 years. For foreclosure, you have 30 years. For execution of decree, you have 12 years. Abhi, how do you know this? Because I have provided you a chart. And do you need to know other period of limitations as well? You do not. Now, there is a difference between set-off and counterclaim. Set-off means when you are asking for mutual debts. Counterclaim means when you are saying that no, I'm not the person who is guilty, rather it is the opposite party. You are filing a counter case. You are filing a cross case against the other person. Counter case mein, the day when the counter case is filed, we see that. Set-off mein, when the original case was filed, we see that. I've given you a very simple example here in the class. Again, you know how to do that. If you do not and you want me to explain the point of set-off and counterclaim, you can write that in the chat section. Question number 1 is on the screen. See, Limitation Act now is not easy. People do not understand this very easily. Me as a lawyer, I am telling you कि lawyers को भी जल्दी से समझ नहीं आता ये. People who are lawyers, who are practicing lawyers, do not understand this easily. So if you want to understand this, you have to read the notes. And if you think that it is going to waste your time, थोड़ी सी basics मैंने बताया है, like 2-3 minute basics I have given you in the starting of the revision session. Again, if you are not able to understand even a single word from this, send me a message on WhatsApp. I'll send you an audio. Okay? Now, question number 1 में statement number 1 is correct. Statement number 2 is not correct. Why? Because payment made after the expiry period can revive the limitation period. No, it cannot. Statement number 3 is correct. Statement number 4 is not correct. Statement number 5 is correct. Why 4 is not correct? The concept of acknowledgement is liability is not applicable to current account. It is applicable. 1, 3 and 5 are correct. That will give us C as the correct answer. Next question. Statement number 1 is correct. For foreclosure, we have 30 years. For appeal, we have 90 days, not 60 days. Appeal to High Court is within 90 days from the date of decree. Statement number 3 is correct. 4 is correct. 5 is correct. Everything except 2 is correct. That will give us C as the correct answer. Now, we have tax law. Isme, there is a formula for CTT. CTT formula is 100% important. If you do not remember that, you'll not be able to attempt the question and you'll not be able to get the marks. CTT formula 4 पेज का है, ठीक है? There is, see, this is the formula. अभी कोई important नहीं है, इसमें 3 points याद करने हैं आपको. This and this. These are the 3 points. जिसमें मैंने आपको बताया था सेल कमोडिटी डेरिवेटिव्स का है, कहीं पे भी इट इज बाय द सेलर. ऑप्शन का है, इट इज बाय द सेलर. व्हेन ऑप्शन इज एक्सरसाइज्ड और व्हेन डिलीवरी सेटलमेंट इज डन, इट इज बाय द परचेजर. परसेंटाइल्स याद करनी है. देयर इज नथिंग ऑफ कि यू कैन नॉट रिमेंबर थिंग्स. Everything is super easy in CTT. Attempting the question is a little tricky for sometimes it can be. पर पता है क्या, आपको याद होगा ना, if you remember this chart, you will face zero difficulty. I am assuring that. If you can remember this, I am giving you a surety that you will be able to attempt the question. Okay? Now attempt the question. Question number 35 is on the screen. And if you want me to give you an explanation of the CTT chart, you need to write that in the chart section. जब मैंने चार्ट बोला है ना आपको कि आपको नहीं मतलब if you want me to explain this chart again, I can. If you want me, I can. Just you have to mention that in the chart section. Right chart. Statement number 1 is correct. 2 is not correct. Why? See, the income earned by resident India in Singapore is not taxable in India if the money is not brought in the financial year. See, the resident individual is taxed on the global income. Okay, if they have sold the goods, double tax nahi dete. We do not pay double tax. If you have paid tax in Singapore already, you don't have to give tax in it from in India. But if you have not given tax there, you have to give tax in India. Okay, the taxes are on global level. And you are a resident of India, you are earning from Singapore, that is, it is your outside export earnings, so you have to pay taxes there. Statement number 2 is incorrect. 3 and 4 are correct. 5 is not. Why? Previous year is always financial year immediately preceding the financial year, not for even for newly set up. No, it is different for newly set up. I've explained this in details. Right now, just remember this point कि this statement is wrong. Previous year is different for newly set up businesses. Okay? D is the correct answer. Question is on the screen. Statement number 1 is correct. See, agriculture incomes are exempted. Statement number 1 is incorrect. 2, 3, 4 and 5 are correct. B is the correct answer. This is the chart. Please learn this chart. Otherwise, you will not be able to attempt the question. And it is not that one question is going to come from here. 2, even 3 questions can come from syrup CTT. From just CTT. Now, see. The saying sold 150 contracts of commodity derivative. When it is regarding commodity derivative, the seller pays. The seller pays. How much will the seller pay? The seller will pay 0.01%. Sold 300 options and 200 were exercised. When exercise is done, purchaser pays. Purchaser pays. Purchaser pays how many? 0.0001%. 100 options and 60 were exercised. Again, purchaser pays. Purchaser is paying the amount and it is for cash settlement. The amount is cash settlement. Cash settlement, it is the last percentile. Cash settlement, it is 0.125%. Settlement other than delivery है, that is settlement other than cash. Delivery means cash settlement हो रहा है या credit settlement है. Purchaser is going to pay at 0.125%. For cottons do not come. Cotton and agriculture activities do not come in CTT. So statement number 4 does not fall under CTT. CTT does not apply here. Agriculture activity of commodity sold earned 2.5 lakh profit. Sold where sale of commodity derivative is by seller. Seller is earning the profit. Seller is earning the profit, right? So who is going to pay the amount? It is the seller who is going to pay. And how much is the seller going to pay? Option is exercise. Commodity option is exercise. Sale of option likha hai. Sale of option ही likha hai. It is seller who is going to pay 0.05%. Okay? I hope how to distinguish this is clear to everybody. Now let's see the question. CTT is not applicable on D. Yes, it is not applicable on D. On A, it is 0.01%. Yes, it is 0.01%. On B, it is 0.5%. On B, it is 0.001%. And on 200 items, not 200 options, because 200 options are practiced. Statement number 3 is incorrect. On C, it is 0.125% by purchaser. Yes, it is. On E, it is 0.05% by seller. Yes, it is. So everything except 3 is correct. That will give us C as the correct answer. C is the correct answer. Now, GST is a destination-based tax. So statement number 1 is correct. Statement number 2 is incorrect because import services without consideration is never treated to supplier for GST regime. This is incorrect. Statement number 3 is correct. Statement number 4 is correct. Statement number 5 is also incorrect. Why? Service is imported by taxable person from a related person without consideration is exempted. No, it is not. GST is paid whether you have paid the amount for it or not. Same is applicable for 2 and 5. Same is the explanation for 2 and 5. C is the correct answer. Now we have module D. Anybody wants to ask me anything in module A, B or C? Do you have any doubt in module A, B or C? Does anybody have any doubt in module A, B or C? Chale, let's move forward and do module D. Module D में we have contract act, we have partnership act, we have the scores is there, the marks is 35 to 40 marks. 35 to 40 marks from module D. So reading of the PPT of module D is super important. Each and every unit is given to you in the handwritten with handwritten notes. Make sure you read module D before your exam. 100% करना है, कुछ पढ़ो नहीं पढ़ो. It doesn't matter if you have read something or not. You have to read module D. Otherwise, clearing the exam will be difficult. Because if you are thorough with module D, you are going to score 40 marks bare minimum. Minimum is 50 that you require, right? तो बाकी से थोड़ा बहुत आपने जो पढ़ा है, you have studied everything. Module D is something that you have to focus on. 100%, although ABC carries a weightage too, C carries almost 35 marks. But C, if it is easy for you, if you have time, C को भी read कर लो, D को तो 100% read करना ही है. You have to. No, you cannot expect a 5-mark question from CTT. 2 questions, yes, from CTT can come. Okay, 2 questions, a situation, and the 2 questions minimum from CTT can come. Now, module C and D, if are on fingertips, see, people did score 93 marks in the last attempt who studied the classes properly. If you have done the course properly, 93 is achievable. I'm just asking you to score at least 60 so that even if you have scored around 45 in the last 3 papers, you will be able to clear this with flying colors. Just reading of the notes that I have provided to you will be 100% sufficient. We have Indian Contract Act. Indian Contract Act talks about variety of things there. Contract क्या होता है? What is a contract? What is a contract of indemnity? What is a contract of guarantee? Agency, bailment, pledge. A lot of things, everything in detail. Just reading, I'm guaranteeing you will understand Indian Contract Act just by reading things out. Okay? Now, question number 1 is on the screen. Domestic arrangement is not a contract. Domestic relationship is not a contract. Question number 1 is on the screen. For a contract to happen, there should be an offer. That offer needs to be accepted. This offer plus acceptance is promise. When a promise which comes with consideration, if there is a money paid for it, it is agreement. When an agreement is enforceable by law, it is a contract. There should be legal intentions of people to create a contract. Okay? Statement number, when you are in a domestic relationship, you do not intend each other to go to court if you do not follow. Suppose my husband says to me, Ki Devshree, I'll give you 10,000 rupees every month. If he does not give me 10,000 rupees, can I file a case against him? No. Why? Because he never intended that if he does not give me 10,000 rupees every month, I'll send him to jail. Or I'll send him to court to give compensation. That will be stupidity. Right? No. So domestic relationships are not contracts because there is no intention to do so. No intention to create a legal relationship. This was held in the case of Balfour versus Balfour. Statement number 1 and 2 here are correct. Statement number 3 is not. Even if no written agreement is executed, domestic promises are contracts. No, they are not. Next. This is again a very good question. Gift deed में there is no need of consideration, but gift deed needs to be in writing and they should be registered as well. If you have registered the gift deed, it is acceptable. If you have not, it is not. So statement number 1, that is a contract between Amit and Rohan, is correct. Yes, it is an acceptable, it's enforceable because it is a gift contract. Samir cannot enforce it because it is unregistered. Meera can because Meera does not have to write everything down. 1 and 3 is correct. A is the correct answer. Next, identify the correct statement regarding the rights available to indemnity holder. Who is an indemnity holder? Indemnity holder is the one who has agreed to. Their indemnity holder is the one who is actually facing the losses. Indemnifier is the one who is ready, who has agreed to pay for the losses. ठीक है. So indemnity holder can recover damages he paid in a suit only if he takes prior written permission from the indemnifier. No written permission is needed. Indemnity may just remember that in the contract of insurance, do you first need to take permission from the health insurance provider कि मैं बीमार हो जाऊं, that I get a heart attack, that I get a to an accident? No, right? You will be get paid if you have a contract of indemnity. Statement number 1 is incorrect. 2 and 3 are correct. That will give us B as the correct answer. Next, what is correct in the case of contract of guarantee? Continuing guarantee can be revoked for future transactions only, not for the past transactions. If you make changes, if the guarantor dies, your liability ends. A continuing guarantee once given cannot be revoked unilaterally by the surety under any circumstance. This is wrong. Continuing guarantee can be revoked for future transactions. Death of surety leads to automatic revocation. No, it does not. If the surety dies, get a new surety, or you pay to the debtor yourself, creditor yourself. 3 is correct. B is the correct answer. Next, which of the following statements are correct regarding guarantee? A guarantee obtained by misrepresentation is invalid. Yes, it is. If a surety can recover the principal debtor any amount paid by him, even if it goes beyond the actual liability, no, it does not. No, it does not. Statement number 3 is correct. 1 and 3 are correct. A is the right answer. Next, bailment. Statement number 1 is incorrect. The bailer must disclose only those faults in the goods bailed which are known to him. No, for extraordinary risk you have to, otherwise you don't. Statement number 2 is correct. Statement number 3 is not correct because if the bailee is liable for losses, even if he take good care of it. No, he will not be liable for the losses if he take good care of it. So statement number 2 is correct. C is the correct answer. Ravi owns a warehouse. He mixes the goods of somebody else without the permission. He is the one who will be paying for the mixture. Okay. Statement number 1 is correct. 2 and 3 are not correct. C is the correct answer. Next question. Which of the following is correct regarding pledge? Bank of Chittor versus Narsimbolu. Yes, this is what was held, that the pledge charge remains valid even the pledger sells the pledged goods. Yes, it does. Statement number 1 is correct. The pledge remains valid even if the pledged goods remain in the possession of the pledger. Statement number 3 is not correct because a repledged by the pledgee is always valid. No, it is not. If the first pledge is not valid, the repledge will not be valid in whatever the situation may be. C is the correct answer. Next, question number 9. Statement number 1 is correct. 2 is correct. 3 is not correct. Why? Agent is personally liable for all the acts done on behalf of principal. No, he is not. Principal is liable for all the acts agent does, whether lawful or not. So statement number 3 should be opposite, not this. So C is the correct answer. Now we have sales of goods. That the thing that you have to focus on this is condition and warranty. What is condition? What is warranty? And who is an unpaid seller? CAIIB attempter की doctrine is also important. So basically 2 to 3 questions from sales of goods. That's bare minimum. Okay. Now question number 10 is on the screen. Statement number 1 is incorrect. Why? In sale, the risk of goods lies with the seller until actual delivery. even if ownership pass. The ownership pass, owner is the risk holder, na, not the seller. State number 2 is incorrect. Why? In an agreement to sell, ownership is transferred immediately. No, it does not. In an agreement to sell, ownership passes in the future date. Statement number 3 is correct. C, B is the correct answer. Which of the following is correct condition and warranty? A breach of condition gives the aggrieved party the right to repudiate the contract. Yes. Breach of warranty allows the buyer to claim damages, not reject the goods. Yes. In the a term initially classified as warranty can never be condition. Why? It can be. If it forms the essence of the contract, it can be. C is the correct answer. Which of the following is correct regarding CAIIB attempter? If a buyer buys goods by description from dealer, in those goods there is implied condition that they shall be of marketable quality. Yes. If a buyer examines goods before purchase, they can still claim defect. No. A buyer can rely on the seller's expertise. Yes. 1 and 3 are correct. A is the correct answer. Next. Which of the following statements are correct regarding unpaid seller? The unpaid seller can file a suit for price of goods if property is passed to the buyer. Yes. Yes. The right to claim interest from the buyer is an automatic right regardless of the contract term. See, there is nothing as automatic right. कोई automatic right or nothing is automatic in law. Nothing is automatic in law. ठीक है? Nothing is automatic in law. Statement number 3 is correct. A is the correct answer. Next, Indian Partnership Act. Indian Partnership Act says that when two people come together to do a business for the motive of earning profit, it is known as partnership. Registration of partnership is optional. If you register, very good. If you do not, it is a choice. You will not get the priorities basically. Okay? Question is on the screen. Which of the following statements correctly relate to the nature of partnership? A partnership is a contract based on contract based relationship, not status. Yes. Yes, it is not a relationship based. Statement number 2 is incorrect because Indian Contract Act and partnership go hand in hand. They are not supplementary to each other. They are not contraventory to each other. Statement number 3 is incorrect because HF Hindu Undivided Family is not a partnership. 1 is correct. A is the correct answer. Partnership as will means you can dissolve it at any time you want to. Fixed period means when the fixed period that is, you have said that you will be partners for 2-3 years. You have fixed the time period that how much long you want to be a partner. And if you do not end the partnership after 2-3 years, it will convert to partnership at will. Particular partnership is for a particular contract. That is, the moment the contract ends, then the moment the work is done, the partnership has to end. Yeah, it is not indefinite. So fixed partnership can change to partnership at will, but a partnership at particular cannot change to partnership at will. Statement number 3 is incorrect. 1 and 2 are correct. C is the correct answer. Identify what is correct. C is the correct answer. Statement number 3 is not correct. No. Attempt this question. These questions yourself. It is easy. Okay. Companies Act dekhte hain. Let's see Companies Act. It is very important. See, a 5-marker question can come from here. A 5-marker question can come from Companies Act. Okay? Because what will happen is they'll give you a situation. They'll ask some contentions of partnership and LLP within Companies Act. So partnership, LLP and Companies Act can come together. And a minimum of 5 marks question will be from here. Minimum, I am telling you. So partnership, Companies Act and LLP, these have to be on tips. 5 marker, 100% from this area. 5 marker. Okay? Now, read the question please. Question number 19. Statement number 1 is correct. Statement number 2 is not correct because partners are agent of each other. Company mein there is nobody an agent. Statement number 3 is incorrect because property of company is the property of company, not of the other. Company is a separate legal entity. Partners own the property jointly. Statement number 4 is also incorrect. Statement number 4 is also incorrect. Why? See, a partner can enter into a legal contract with any of its partner, whereas a company cannot enter into a contract with its own member. Why? This is opposite. This is opposite. Partners cannot enter into a contract with each other, with a firm, but company can. Everything except 1 and 5 are wrong. That will give us, we have to tell what is not correct. That will give us B as the correct answer. Question number 20. Statement number 1 is correct. Statement number 2 is correct. Statement number 3 is correct. Statement number 4 and 5 are not correct. Why? Companies cannot be both holding and subsidiary company to each other. It can be holding and subsidiary. Suppose B hai company. There is a company B who holds C, and there is a company who holds B. Okay. So isn't B a subsidiary to A and a holding of C? It is, right? It is. So statement number 4 is incorrect. 5 is shareholding alone is not sufficient to establish holding and subsidiary. Shareholding is important because अगर 51% shares किसी और company के पास आपकी company के, if 51 shares of your company is with somebody else, then that somebody else is the holding company. Okay. So statement number 1, 2, 3 are correct. A is the correct answer. Now, memorandum of association, article of association, the doctrines related to it, that is ultra vires, constructive notice and indoor management. Super important. Super important. Okay. Question number 21. 1 is correct, 2 is not because MOA above AOA. 3 is correct, 4 is not correct because you cannot change the MOA and SE. There is, if you want to change the MOA, you need to take the approval, special resolution get passed, and central government approval is mandatory. Okay, so D is the correct answer here. Next, question number 22. Statement number 1 is correct. Statement number 2 is not correct because the debtor remains liable. Ultra vires lendings does not execute the repayment. If the assets are traceable, you can ask for the money back. Statement number 3 and 4 are correct. 5 is not correct. Knowledge of the irregularity disqualifies the third party from doctrine of indoor management. अगर आपको पता था कोई गलत कर रहा है, if somebody is doing wrong, you cannot claim indoor management. A is the correct answer. Statement number, question ये अपने आप कर लेना. Attempt question number 24, please. Question number 24. Statement number 1 is incorrect. Keeping a foreign register is not important. Statement number 2 is incorrect. You can close a register for 45 days in a year. Okay. That is not more than 30 days at a time, but maximum 45 days you can. Statement number 3 is correct. Penalty from 50,000 of 3 lakh rupees on a company and 50k on officers. Statement number 4 is correct. Statement number 5 is correct. That will give us A as the correct answer. Next question. This is a very good question. 2% voting rights से above है, so it is wrong. Statement number 1, 2, 3 is wrong. 4 and 5 are correct. That will give us C. Okay, that will give us C as the correct answer. Independent director, देखो independent director कौन होता है? He is a person who has no money relationship with you. He is the one who is there for the benefit of the company. If you are associated with the company, if your relatives are associated with the company, you cannot be an independent director. If you have money interest, okay, above 10% in the company, you cannot be a independent director. If your relatives hold more than 50 lakh rupees in the company, you cannot be an independent director of that. If you are a promoter of that company, you cannot be an independent director of that. If you hold more than 2% of company's voting right, you cannot be an independent director. यहाँ पे 1.5 है, इसलिए he can be. That's statement number 3. ठीक है. Others में everybody is disqualified. Others में you'll be disqualified. Next is LLP Act. LLP Act is talking about the features. They have taken the positive points of partnership, they have taken the positive points of Companies Act and clubbed them together. This is what is given under the Partnership Act. Question number 1. In a LLP, there is a minimum of 2 partners. LLP is a separate legal entity. 2 partners should be designated partners. These 2 designated partners need to have a DPIN. These designated partners cannot be corporate bodies. There can be 1 partner at a time in a LLP, and he can still remain a partner with LLP for 6 months. After 6 months, his liability will become unlimited. Statement number 1 is correct. 4 and 5 are correct. 2 and 3, 1 is incorrect because DP cannot be a body corporate. Statement number 2 is correct. Statement number 3 is not correct. Why? Because the person awaiting insolvency cannot be a partner. Statement number 3 is incorrect. 4 and 5 are correct. 2, 4, 5 are correct. 1 is the correct answer. Next question. Statement number 1 is correct. Statement number 2 is correct. Statement number 3 is not correct. Why? See, a retired partner is automatically free from all obligation. No, he is not. I have told you this. जिस दिन आपने fraud किया है, if you are a partner when the losses or the fraud happen, it doesn't matter if you are still the partner or not, and the fraud get discovered today. But you are a partner when fraud happened, you will be liable. You will be liable. Statement number 3 is incorrect. Statement number 4 is correct. 5 is also incorrect. Why? In on cessation, the former partner retains managerial rights. No, if he has gone, he has gone. He has no right. 1, 2, 4 are correct. That will give us B as the correct answer. Now we have TPA, Transfer of Property Act. Isme we have talked about sale, lease, gift, and mortgage. Mortgage we have dealt in detail. Sale is mandatory for us to write it down. Lease can be, sale is when you are transferring the ownership by taking some consideration. Lease may we are giving the possession only. Actionable claim may we are transferring our unsecured debt. Question is on the screen. Under TPA, the transaction only happens but among the living persons. Can a person transfer property to himself? Yes, he can. He can transfer to himself as a trustee. That is, my property hai. I want to create a trust. Can I be a trustee of that? Yes. I want to open a trust, so I can transfer the property in the name of me as a trustee, not the owner but a trustee. Statement number 1 is correct. Statement number 2 is correct. Statement number 3 is not correct because TPA is a general law. Companies Act is a special law. Companies Act cannot be overridden by TPA. The special law over general law is the rule. Property can be future or present. Statement number 4 is correct. Statement number 5 is not correct. Why? Because only competent persons can come into a contract. D is the correct answer. Question number 31. Statement number 1 is correct. Private person can sell a mortgage property without court intervention. You need court's help in any situation, whatever they may be. Statement number 1 is incorrect. 4 is also incorrect because once sale is executed, title of purchaser can be challenged. No, it cannot be. No, it cannot be. Purchaser's title cannot be challenged. C is the correct answer. Last question from TPA. Lease of agriculture property and manufacturing property can be terminated with a 6 months notice. Actionable claim is for unsecured debt. It does not include money. Statement number 1 is incorrect, 2 is incorrect, 3 is correct, 4 is also incorrect. Why? A prior notice of transfer of actionable claim is not required. Statement number 5 is correct. That will give us A as the correct answer. Now we have unit 31 and 32. They are talking about RTI, Right to Information. Right to Information Act में the composition is important. Where the right to information applies is important. What is the function of RTI? How did RTI came? RTI Act came and replaced the Freedom to Information Act. Okay? It is for us to ask the government what and how you are doing things. Statement number 1. is incorrect because RTI Act applies to public authority, not private authorities. Statement number 2 is correct. Statement number 3 is correct. Statement number 4 is correct because RTI Act did came in two phases. First was from some provisions from 15 June and some from 12th of October. Two dates under RTI Act you have to remember. Statement number 4 is correct. Statement number 5 is also incorrect because Act is not applicable to public sector bank. Act is applicable to all the public entities. Everything except 1 and 5 are correct. That will give us A as the correct answer. Now, this particular question is important. Why? Because the transfer must happen in 5 days. Regarding write and diverty, it is 48 hours. Regarding APIO's respond failure, it is considered rejected. Statement number 5 is you have to cite reasons for why you are rejecting. It is not just because inconvenience. Statement number 5 is correct because everything should be in writing. 1, 2, 1 and 4 are incorrect. Others are correct. That will give us C as the correct answer. Question number 37. Statement number 1 is incorrect. Central government establishes the Central Information Commission in the center, not in just UTs. Statement number 2 is correct. 3 is correct. 4 is correct. 5 is also correct. That will give us B as the correct answer. Next question. IT Act. IT Act. Information and Technology Act. This act talks about how information and technology is important and who is an originator of the message, how IT Act came. It came on the basis of unilateral model law. It started because with computer came the bane of hacking. Question number 1 is on the screen from IT Act. Statement number 1 is correct. Statement number 2 is not correct. Why? IT Act states that Act also applies to offences committed outside India. Other statements except 2 is correct. That will give us C as the correct answer. Digital signature is used to authenticate the asymmetric cryptography. Key pairs are related. Unrelated नहीं है, related है. Statement number 3 is correct. Statement number 4 is correct. Statement number 5 is correct. That will give us A as the correct answer. Last question from IT Act. Yes, it does. Statement number 2 is also correct. Act does not apply to testamentary disposition. Statement number 3 is incorrect. As per the mandate for schedule, the power of attorney in favor of SEBI is excluded. It is not. It is excluded from. With the amended schedule, it is excluded. So statement number 3 is incorrect. That will give us B as the correct answer. Last unit of the day. Last unit is Prevention of Corruption Act. Prevention of Corruption Act says that, see, the people who are at government authority, they cannot misuse their position. You are at the government space, you are at the government, you are holding the government office because we have let you to. The citizens of India have let you to. So you cannot do whatever you want to and you cannot misuse the office. And there is a punishment for the same. People who are working in the government sector, anyhow government feed, even like government owned hai, government financed hai, you will be termed as a government officer and you can be punished. If you want to file a case against the government, you have to take your government officer, you have to take 3 months permission. You have to give a 3 months notice to the government before filing the case. Statement number 1 is incorrect. Public duty includes any duty in private institutions. No, it is only for government. Statement number 1 is incorrect. Statement number 2 is correct. If it is a Government aided, you are a government servant. Statement number 3 is incorrect because undue advantage includes non monetary gratification. मैंने आपके पास आई, ठीक है, I came to you one day, I am a judge, ठीक है, I came to you one day and I said कि I'll do your work if you can get an admission for my sister in USA. This is non monetary gratification, right? This is me taking undue advantage of my position. This is wrong. It is not just money, it can be any sort of advantage. So statement number 3 is incorrect. Statement number 1 is incorrect, 3 is correct, 4th also is incorrect. Why? The term election under the act only talks about parliamentary election. It talks about all sorts of election under the government. Local हो, parliamentary हो, any sort of election. पंचायत हो, ठीक है. So B is the correct answer. Last question of the day. Last question of the day. Please read the question very properly. Only a police officer of the rank of superintendent of police can exercise these powers, not a law ranking officer, superintendent of police, and deputy superintendents of police. ठीक है, C1 is incorrect, 2 is correct, 3 is also incorrect. Inspection also extends to accounts. ठीक है, how are you holding the money, on whose behalf you are holding the money. Statement number 3 is incorrect. 4 and 5 are correct. That will give us 1, 4 and 5 as 2, 4 and 5 as correct. B is the correct answer. That is it. We have completed almost 150 questions today. We have talked about different topics. There is nothing remaining at my end. If you have any doubt in any part of the law, write that in the chat section. Otherwise, all the very, very best. Please make sure that you go through module D concepts, content. You have the PPT. You have to give it a read before the exam. Please. Okay? Again, you have any doubt, please write that in the chat section. Otherwise, thank you for attending the lecture. All the very, very best for your tomorrow's exam. May you pass the exam with flying colors. Thank you.